Episode 23 of the Eric and Brad Show. ErickandBradShow@gmail.com. Nobody likes you when you're 23 and with a TV show. That's kind of the thing. Episode 23, the number of LeBron James and the number of Michael Jordan. How's it going, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I just fucking raced around North Dakota for work and raced home and jumped in the shower and got all washed up and sat down and ready to podcast.
Heck
I feel like I'm still trying to catch my breath.
Yeah. What time do you get home?
Yeah.
Like 2:30? Or, well, I guess 5:30?
Like between 4 and 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get about a half an hour?
Yeah. And like I told you, I was going to tell you again, like, I'm doing 10 days in a row and then 2 days off and then another 10. So the next 2 weeks it's going to start to get a little spacey for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. I don't know if you brought this up on last episode, because last episode I was pretty fucking spacey, which I won't apologize.
Yeah.
I was in La La Land. Like, the second we got off of the second we got off the podcast,
Yeah.
I was in fever mode. Like, I think I was at 100 when I got off that episode, and I just went into full sick mode. Literally, the end of that episode, I was full sick. Just like real sick.
Well, you looked terrible and you sounded terrible. You look a lot better now.
Oh, I feel way better. The power of antibiotics. And I'm not a big fan of taking antibiotics, but when I'm that sick, I'll get over it. After 3 days of being sick, I was like, okay, I'll start taking some antibiotics.
Is it still smoky?
It's got way better yesterday
Good.
because we got a lot of rain. We got massive amounts of rain. We had a huge storm, which I slept through, which everyone I talked to was like, how did you sleep through that storm? But there was like, yeah, it was bananas. Shit was all fucking washed out everywhere.
Today was the first day that we got smoke here, and now it's everywhere here.
Well,
It took that long.
well, that's weird. Wait, so that's weird. I wonder if the jet stream thing had something to do with it? Because I read a thing the other day that London was getting West Coast smoke.
That's weird.
It was and they showed a picture of it, and it looked all smoky in London, and they said it was from the West Coast fires.
Well, 2 days ago, it wasn't smoky here. It was perfectly clear, and just today is covered in smoke here.
Well, I wonder if the jet stream was like passing, was like going over you guys or under you guys and then wrapping back up to London or something like that.
It's all fucked up. It doesn't know what it's doing.
Doesn't know what it's doing.
Fucking 2020.
But we finally had rain, so calm down. It's finally below the air index thing. Was finally below 300, which it was up to like 400. It was like extremely dangerous to be outside or something like that. It was bananas here, dude. It was. I've never experienced fires like that in my life. It was crazy.
So, Amazon Music has podcasts now.
Boom.
The floodgates are opened. So we are now on Amazon Music.
That's fantastic news.
Which is interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. So we're on Amazon Music, and we're also on the website called Intune, like INTUNE, Intune. I just put us on there. It's just another spot to be. Still not on Pandora. I realized that I went back and looked, and I submitted the show to Pandora on July 7th. So, whatever. Who cares?
Did we do something wrong there, or they just take forever?
It just says waiting for, I don't know, clearance or whatever.
Maybe they don't like us.
Approval. Yeah, I don't know. But Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all those awesome places. And our episode is out. I'm curious to see if you listen to it, on the Spotlight On show. And I will be I will be putting a link in the description of this episode. I guess I'll do a Spotify link and an Apple link. I don't know what people want to listen on, but it's just audio only, and it's from we were the guests on the show with my boy Lawrence Purrier. It's called Spotlight On, and our episode finally came out, and I listened to it. It was interesting. I don't know. Did you listen to it?
I did not.
Okay. It's so what he did was which makes sense because I was always like, why does he want us on the show? What he did is he did a show that's a two-parter he had one kid as the first half, and then we were the second half, which makes sense. And I didn't listen to the first half, but Sawyer listened to it, and he told me it was like some kid who created an algorithm that's about like how many people can be in a room if it's you have to keep a 6 foot socially distanced thing or whatever like that. I didn't listen to it, but the kid's like some genius, like some Forbes lister, young kid. But he had the first half, and then we come in on the second half, and we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff. So I'll put a link in this episode so everybody can go check it out and let me know what you think of it.
Boom.
You know, more or less, it was just like a fun, laid back conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I just remember a lot of alien talk. But
Yeah, a lot of yeah.
I did. I'm not 100% done, but I'm halfway done with the book of our boy John Beatty.
Really
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's very good. Audiobook.
nice.
Just to
Right.
be clear, audiobook. Got it. Got it.
Yeah,
You can get it on
because
audio.
he did say he's down to come back a second time.
I really like that guy, and his book is very good. Very good. Definitely
Nice. Wow.
for like young men, but interesting. And he's done some stuff that he didn't bring up on the show. He's a fucking interesting guy. Like his life is pretty bananas. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I would highly
Okay.
suggest the book. It was good, and I think it was only like
Yeah.
$8 on Audible or something like that, or $10 on Audible. So
Right.
maybe more.
That's awesome.
I don't remember.
Yeah, so we just went through this today. We'll just do like a laid back, casual, no guest show, which is nice. I feel like I need it. I don't know. We just did like a run of three heavy hitters in a row. So we had the Merrick Rosenberg, who did the bird personalities. Then we had John Beatty, who's climbed mountains all over. And then we had the Joshua Shea, who has watched a lot of porn and stuff like that. So we just had the run of those three guests, and so yeah, I'm glad we're doing one without. But should I just go into my first thing
Sure.
here?
Sure. Go at it.
So I went back and I took that bird personality test thing
Uh huh.
to figure out what I am. Because it's like, oh, fuck, I was going to look. If you, our guest, Merrick Rosenberg, which a lot of people did like, I liked him. He has the thing about you can find out if you're an eagle, a parrot, a dove, or an owl. And if you text 33777, you can take the test to figure that out. So I text 33777, and all it does is kind of send you a link to a website. I thought you could like take it over text, like they were text you questions, but no, it's a link to a website. So I took the test. It's a 30-question test, which kind of seemed like a lot, but then they send you your report of everything about you and what birds you are. So apparently I am, and it sends you pictures of, say, like two birds, and one's bigger and one's smaller, so it's like you're more that one than the other one. So I have an owl as the big bird, and a dove is like the little bird next to him, and that's it. So apparently I'm dove owl.
Boom.
Okay?
Boom.
Yeah. So then it tells me a lot of stuff. It says, your pattern of responses indicate that you do not like interruptions while working on detailed projects. You show a high degree of focus on the things you do. Okay.
That seems right.
And thus complete tasks with a high degree of quality and accuracy. Okay, I don't know about that so far. You score like those who are most effective when they are able to complete a project or assignment in its entirety before moving on to the next task. That's kind of, I mean, either I'll quit or complete before moving on to the next task. It says, Bradley, your score on this instrument indicates that you tend to be more modest and conservative than egocentric. Okay, that's obviously true. You do things by the book, and you expect others to do the same. I don't know about that. Do things by the book. Hence, you create a sense of order around yourself that can serve as a model for others who choose to follow your lead. It's frustrating for you when people choose not to do things your way, though you tend to keep the frustration inside, sharing it with only family or close friends. That's very true. I haven't read this before. Oh, God. You like to complete projects with precision and accuracy, as these are important hallmarks of your work ethic. Additionally, you complete projects on time, but might tend to feel that the overall quality could be improved if you spent a bit more time. Yeah, that's extremely. So it's crazy how accurate this is off 30 questions. I don't know. It's kind of impressive and scary at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah,
So apparently,
do you think maybe
I'm
this is
out
like,
of.
I always am so skeptical of, maybe not exactly things like this, but I feel like anytime I get any hint of people telling people like who they are, this is who you are, I believe it's all like cold reading shit to me. I always trace it up to that. I'm like, you could say
Right.
anything about anything to anybody, and they're gonna be like, yeah, yeah, I am like that. You know what I mean? Like if you read a fucking, what am I thinking of? Astrology signs or whatever,
Yeah.
astrological
Yeah.
signs. It's just
Yeah.
like you say any of that to anyone, they'll be like, yeah, yeah. Like me, I always like the twin thing with
Yeah.
Gemini. I feel like if you said that about anybody, like, there's kind of two sides to you. You know what I mean? Everyone would be like, yeah, yeah, there is kind of two
Right.
sides to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, fucking,
Yeah.
that's generic across anything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the same thing he was saying in the episode. Wasn't it him that
Yeah.
was like, I think it was that guy. He's like, I'll ask a group of people, like, how many people here are top performers in their company? And 90% of the
Yeah.
people raise their hand. It's like, well, obviously
Yeah.
90% of people aren't top performers. But if you ask people, are you a top, or if you say to someone, oh, you're a really good performer, you're a top performer, you'd be like, yeah, yeah, I am a fucking top performer, bro. Like,
Right. Right. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And astrological things always say, like, you like to keep a close knit circle around you of close friends as opposed to, like, many, many friends or something like that. And everyone's like, yeah, that's me. That's totally me.
Yeah. And there's 100% of people will say exactly that.
Yeah. But I feel like this is a lot different. This, I feel, is eerily accurate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, except for the by the book thing. I don't know about that. Anyway, just wanted to touch back on that, that I actually went through and took that thing, which is cool.
I don't know why this
Cool to do.
reminds me of this, but it's something, and I can't remember the numbers exactly right now, but I believe it's 17. It's somewhere in there, but I remember I got this off of watching like a TV magic show, like a guy just doing like street magic shit, and it was like 8 years ago or something like that. But
Okay.
this is gonna be way out of left field, I know, but I've always found
Okay.
this really fascinating, and when I bring this up to people, 99% of the time they argue with me. They're like, that is not fucking true. And I'm like, you're not thinking about it properly. So, what it is if you are like with someone, like if you're sitting with a buddy or something like that in some situation, it's really hard to pull off. I think I've only pulled it off once. But I've explained
Mhm.
the theory to multiple people and they all disagree with me. So it's easy to get people to bet against you on this. And it's essentially like a bet thing. You tell someone,
Okay.
you're like the way it was set up in the show is they were sitting in a pizzeria and they were sitting by the front door and the guy leans into the other guy and he goes, hey, sorry about my throat right now, I don't know what's going on, but he leans over to the other guy and he goes, I bet you that out of the next 17 people that walk through this door, someone's going to have a matching birthday. Like, and you
Okay.
say that and you can bet someone, you're like, I'll write down everyone's birthday and there'll be a matching birthday in there because
So it seems like statistically that's unlikely.
unlikely, yes, because
Yeah.
people in their head get stuck on there's 365 days out of the year, and then they
Yeah.
just take that number and they plug in seven. I think it's 17. It might be 20. It's somewhere around there, but and
Mhm.
then they plug that in and they're like, well, the odds of that are like 5% or something like that. 10. Real low. When actually,
Yeah.
statistically, once you pass 17 people or something like that, the odds they tip over 50% because you're not picking a date like my birthday. Let's say my birthday is June 3rd, and then I ask the next
Mhm.
17 people, "What's your birthday?" The odds of that are really low, but the odds
Right.
of one of those people having a matching birthday is incredibly fucking high. You get what I mean?
That's weird.
Isn't that weird?
That's really weird.
Would you not think that, or
Yeah.
does that make sense to you?
No, I
Or
wouldn't. I guess it makes sense, but I wouldn't think that. I think I've only met like two people that have my
yes,
birthday.
but that's not the thing. That's not what you're betting
Yeah.
on. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're
Yes,
not
yes,
betting someone
yes.
has your birthday or betting that the first
Right,
person you run into that they're going to match. You just, out of
right.
those 17 people or 20 people, the odds of a matching birthday are extremely, they pass 50%. And then once you get up to like
Jesus Christ.
33 or I think it's once you get up to, it's a low number. It's like once you get to 40 people, it's like a 99.9% chance that they have a matching birthday.
That's fucking weird. If that's true, that's weird.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, sorry, that was way out of left field. I don't know why that like popped in my head, but it did.
If I was standing in a group of strangers and we were all saying our birthdays and two people had the same one, I'd be like, "Oh my god, this is incredible! You guys both have the same birthday? What are the odds of that?"
Yeah,
But maybe it's likely.
yeah. I might be wrong in the numbers, but I'm close. Maybe it's 27. I don't. I feel like it was 17.
Right,
I don't know, but it's not that big of a number.
right.
It's definitely below 30.
So also on that Spotlight On episode, I feel like our audio quality on that was fucking superb listening to it. I feel like it was incredible. But his wasn't that good. But I think ours was really good.
Huh.
Oh, also, and
And
I didn't tell you
compare.
this.
Wait, wait, wait. Don't just skim over that real quick. How,
Yeah.
different than what we normally do?
I think his wasn't good and that other kid's wasn't good.
And then it just made
But
ours
I feel
sound really good, or
probably. I just and I think it's because sometimes like we'll do one episode and shit, there's a small little problem, and then the next week, the other person has a little problem, but then some weeks, boom, both of them work out perfectly. So it was one of those weeks where there was no issues happening or anything like that,
okay.
and it just sounded really good. But when I was going on that run, booking those last three guests of ours, I tried. I didn't tell you, but I one of the ones that I tried that didn't work out was a priest who's performed like 130 exorcisms.
Nice. That would have been
Yeah,
dope.
that would have been weird. And it's like confirmed exorcisms, like verified, confirmed, official exorcisms. His name was like Father
Who
something or other.
confirms the
Can't remember.
exorcism?
Yeah, I don't know. They're like legitimate. It's like a dog that doesn't have papers versus a dog that does have is papered. It's like those were like legit exorcisms. So either he didn't message me back because I don't know why. It just didn't work out. He just didn't respond to me. But I tried to get a priest on that's had like 130 exorcisms. Is kind of a weird
Huh?
thing.
That's interesting. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
So
for
let's
sure.
let's talk about the real fucking obviously people come here for the real news, and let's bring them the real news. And this one fucking really
Oh God.
this one really grinds my gears, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you want to get me
Okay.
fucking worked up, you attack me, where my loyalty lies, where I spend my time, where I enjoy things. You fucking take that away from me. I'll get fucking hot and heavy around here, okay?
Is this about alcohol?
No. Well, we could talk about that a little later. It's not about. If this was about alcohol, I'd freak the fuck out. And I'm already
Right.
heated. I'm up to an 8 or 9 here, possibly 10.
Jesus.
Possibly 10. I'm real fucking high on this. And I don't know if you've heard the news
Okay.
lately, but Sunday, as of
Oh yeah.
tomorrow, you can't download TikTok anymore. Which doesn't bother me. 'Cause I've already fucking downloaded it. And by the time this
Yeah.
episode comes out, you're all fucked. You're done. You can't fucking download it anymore. If you don't have it, you missed the fucking train. But then they're saying November 14th or something like that. End. Done. No more TikTok. North America. Fucking wiped out. And it's been a joke across TikTok.
Fuck.
Everyone's like, it ain't gonna happen, ain't gonna happen. Well, I guess now shit's real. Like, shit's real. China's saying it now. They're like, nope, fuck that. Fuck you guys. Fuck America. Blah, 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 blah. Because there was something about, like, a sister company kind of, like, taking over operations in America, and they had a
Yeah.
falling out, and TikTok's just like, fuck you, fuck America. We don't give a shit about your country. So,
God damn it.
yeah,
Fuck that.
I'm a little fucking pissed off, because,
Fuck.
I maybe if they take that away, I'm just done with social media altogether. I'm gonna go live in a cabin,
No.
down by the river. I'm fucking
No. No, you'll come back to Facebook.
No, I'm done. I can't deal with you animals. You're all a bunch of fucking animals. I just get on there and I get mad and I can't deal with it. I hate everybody.
I know.
I hate them. I hate them all. I can't. I am not capable of getting on there and not getting upset. And I'll catch myself writing some shit out, and then I'm like, and then I delete the whole thing. I'm like, nope, it's not worth it. I don't want any of this. I don't want to get in this fucking argument with someone. It's fucking pointless.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it gets so much more heated than if you're just face to face. For some reason, face to face, you can like have way more likely to have a legitimate fucking back and forth argument about something. But something on fucking Facebook, you get one message deep, two message deep, three message deep, and then it's like, fuck you and your mother, you piece of shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, it goes fucking 0 to 100 real quick. I can't do it. I'm done. I'm a happier person. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm happier.
People post the dumbest shit, and I hate it.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I don't get mad about the people posting stuff like, I don't know, I saw one of my friends on there just posted something that just said, burn the liberals. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Or something like that. And I get mad when they just post stupid shit. Like, I don't know. Like a picture of their TV, or like, I don't know, just something dumb. It's like nobody cares what your favorite music is.
Well, that's the... But, no one really cares about any, like, no one's that interesting. Like, Facebook really should just be blank. It should just be blank, and, like, and nothing should even be popping up. But for some reason, fucking animals just feel like it's necessary to just be posting shit that no one gives a shit about.
Yeah. No, nobody cares.
No one cares. It's just hot girls. That's all the internet for is hot girls. Like, that's it. That's all anyone cares about. It's just pictures of people's asses.
True. Yes. So, and I saw a thing on TikTok where some girl saying, she's like, if you just go into settings, you can change your location to Canada on TikTok, and then like maybe you can keep the app or something. I was like,
Yeah, she seems like an informed source.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I know, and then some other girl was like, okay, fuck it. TikTok's getting deleted. If this video gets 500 likes, I'll post my nudes. And the video had like 240,000 likes. I'm like, oh, shit. Fuck, that's so lame if they take it away. The goddamn Chinese government, I am so mad at China this fucking year. They've ruined this year for everybody. They're responsible for COVID, and they're responsible for TikTok getting deleted. They're responsible for the creation and the destruction of TikTok, which is kind of weird. But they're also responsible for the world getting sick and dying and wearing masks.
And I'm all about being angry about that. And then I was talking to someone, and they're like, dude, if it gets canceled, someone else will just come fill the need for TikTok. I disagree. I don't think Americans are very good at the internet thing. Like poor people and hot girls are good at the internet thing. Tech people fucking suck at it. Like, they just make these, look at Facebook. In my book, they've all failed. They've all failed at making a good fucking platform. And then the Chinese come along, and they you know, they're not fucking bound by any bullshit. You know what I mean? They're just like, let's create a great fucking app. Let's not push our fucking Twitter agenda on people, or blah, blah, blah. And then there's just like weird little cracks in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then it just slowly seeps through, and then the whole fucking thing's fucked.
Well, they made an app designed for people with short attention spans, and
we all have short attention spans.
Well, and making whatever your current attention span is even less. Like, it's hurting your attention span because you're just addicted to fucking 30-second funny clips, you know?
Yeah. Well, I just like, the thing there is it doesn't, I don't know. It gets down to, you know, what we want. And what we want is just comedy and hot people. That's what we really want. But for some reason, all the other things trick us into like, no, you need to have a voice about your opinion. And, you know, out of all the people we went to high school with, and I'm included, my opinion really shouldn't matter very much to anybody because I fucking, I'm a fucking idiot. I build houses. Like, what do I need to say about the president? I should be saying nothing. I know nothing. You want to talk about how to
have a podcast?
Yeah, okay.
You have
okay. If you want to know about fucking, installing sconces or something like that, I'm your fucking guy. You want to know about, liberal versus fucking...
I don't even know what sconces are.
See, that's what you come to me for. I can fucking school you on some shit like that. But you want to talk about the, AOC and the Democratic Convention. I'm not the guy to talk about that. I really don't even know what I'm talking about. I just get some fucking
Right.
talking points, and I become just like the rest of everybody else. Like, I read a headline. I read a headline. Listen to me.
Yeah. Oh, please don't take it away.
Sorry.
Someone will swoop in at the last minute and save the day.
You think so?
Fucking stupid. Uh, who knows?
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
since oh, okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well, I mean, there's something we need to talk about, but it's not the fucking most fun stuff.
Uh-oh.
But we're obligated to.
Uh-oh.
Because, okay, so, fuck. And I wish I had a better introduction for this, but I don't. And I also want to apologize to people because this is something I should have been on top of and I wasn't. I was on top of as far of it, like getting on my radar, but I wasn't on top of it for bringing it to the show. I don't know if you've been listening to the show, but shit's been fucked up. Backs have been broken, and people have been working a lot. A lot of shit's happening. But this movie Cuties on Netflix. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. So I heard about it maybe 4 to 5 weeks ago when one of my buddies, good buddy in Idaho, he posted about how he's canceling his Netflix account because of this movie. Because the poster of the movie was portraying young girls in a very sexual way.
Okay.
The poster / like movie art on Netflix. At this time, when I saw him post that, I hadn't even heard of this movie before. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll just take your word for it. And then slowly over the past few weeks, been hearing more and more and more. It's seen it trending on Twitter. A listener, one of our lovely, great listeners in Spokane, hit me up last week and says, "You guys should talk about this." I said, I had it written down because I had it written down to talk about last week. We just didn't get to it. So this is kind of almost old news now, but she was seeing it everywhere on Reddit and stuff like that. So it's just this big thing. And here's the thing. I'm seeing it all over, people mad and upset about this movie sexualizing young girls. I still haven't seen the movie on Netflix. I've been on Netflix every day for the past 3 weeks watching Bloodline and Away. Still haven't seen it on there. So thank you, people. Thank you, people doing cancel culture, for putting it on my radar. I would never have seen it anyway. I'm not really saying thank you. I'm trying to be sarcastic because I don't really need to see this fucking crazy shit. Anyway, it's this movie. Cuties is a 2020 French coming-of-age drama written and directed by, I can't pronounce her name, in her feature directorial debut. The plot revolves around a Senegalese / French girl with a traditional Muslim upbringing who is caught between traditional values and internet culture. According to the filmmakers, the film is intended to criticize the hypersexualization of pre-adolescent girls. Okay, so the intent of the film is to criticize the sexualization of young girls, right? However, the problem is in the film there is a lot of sexualization of young girls, even though the intent is to criticize that. So a lot of people's criticism of the film is that you don't need to show sexualization of young girls in order to explain to us that it's wrong. Now, I agree with that. That makes complete sense to me, right?
Okay.
And the thing is that, there's a lot of people posting on Facebook and stuff saying anyone who defends this film, fuck you, we should kill you. I'm not coming here to defend this film. I would never watch this film. I saw a clip on Twitter because I was doing pre-pro for the show, and the clip was of like 5 girls on stage doing the WAP dance. Now, I don't think you know what that is.
I do know. It's very famous on TikTok. I know what the WAP dance is. If it comes down to sexy dances, I'll fucking let you know all about sexy dances.
Okay, so you're the other person to go to for sexy dances. However, it's a little too sexy for like 11-year-old girls to be doing.
It is a very sexualized dance, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, right. So, it shows like 5 young girls doing this on stage to an audience of mothers watching. And I'm watching the clip, and they're showing. I mean, the fucking goddamn camera. It's obviously it's sexual. It's pretty much sexualization because the camera's doing like shots that you see in like a hip hop music video, and you're like, okay. But then it's showing the mothers in the crowd, and they're all like disgusted. They're like, oh god. And I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing. The film is these girls are being too sexual, and then everyone around them is gonna be like, y'all have to stop this. And all they're doing is imitating the internet. So, I mean, unfortunately, whatever. I saw that. It's the film's just full of a bunch of twerking and girls doing whatever. And there's like, I'm looking at the Wikipedia. There's like, girls. There's like a scene in it where a girl's like standing in front of the mirror naked, taking pictures of herself, sending them to people with her iPhone, and it's like an 11-year-old girl, and it's like, okay. So what happened was this film has received really high critical acclaim from critics. Critics are saying it's a goddamn masterpiece. It won awards at Sundance and shit like that. However, all the general audience members, like of the public, are hating the film, and it has like a 1% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever because of people just swarming there and voting it down and voting it as terrible. Although critics are saying it's a good film.
Huh. Yeah, I haven't heard any of this shit.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have heard anything about it if there wasn't any backlash. It's kind of crazy, and I understand people saying, you don't need to show it in order to teach people that it's bad. It's like, yeah, I agree. So the only thing that I said, which I was tweeting at some fucking huge Twitter account, and they were like responding to me, I was saying to them, I'm like, look, there's kind of a reason that film is being made. It's because art reflects life, and things like this actually are happening in the world. And I'm like, and it's happening on a lot of different platforms other than Netflix, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. Things like that are happening. It's not just You're trying to cancel Netflix, and Netflix saw some huge spike in cancellations because everyone's canceling their Netflix account. So all I was saying is it's not Netflix. I'm like, Netflix is literally the last platform to have content like that. It's everywhere else already, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was saying. So I was kind of saying, like, if you're going to cancel Netflix, you better cancel everything. And then someone told me, they're like, what about the show Toddlers and Tiaras that has been around for like a decade or whatever? And I'm like, exactly. All these, little tiny girl beauty pageants and shit like that. Same exact thing. You're now just getting on the last fucking caboose of the train and saying cancel Netflix. That's all I was really saying. I completely understand that you don't need to show it in order to show why it's wrong, and I wouldn't watch the film even just because the clip I saw. It's just why the fuck would I watch it? It seems stupid. But what's shitty is it's directed by this black director that's a woman that's like French or whatever, and her intent was good. However, you can't just have those fucking crazy shots of 11-year-olds doing the WAP dance.
Okay, two things here. One,
it's going to fall into the wrong hands.
One, I mean, fucking your point about blaming Netflix. I mean, that's just the problem with literally everything in the world today is whatever the fuck happens, it gets blamed on something that's not even. You can cancel whatever you want, but you're not actually fixing any fucking problems.
Right.
The problem is
right.
with the fucking general population. It has nothing to do with Facebook. Has nothing to do with Twitter. Has nothing to do with any of this shit. Whoever you're fucking mad at for insert fucking topic. You know what I mean? It's not their fucking fault. You know what I mean? Whoever they're trying to cancel, it's, usually society in whole, and we just find something to get mad about and attack that.
Right. It's like misplaced.
Second thing, dude, didn't I'm so not privy with shit, but wasn't there like something like this a month or two ago with some French fucking lady who made a movie and it shows like it's like about a teacher? I'm so vague, but the whole time you're talking about it, I'm like, didn't someone else just get in a shitload of trouble out of France for making some fucking movie about like I want to say it was like a teacher and a student or a dad like.
Oh, yeah.
Has a fucking robotic daughter or something like that, and like they have like a
Oh
scene in
no,
it
I don't.
where I don't know something about in the movie at some point a grown up has sex with an underage person or something like that, and
That's a robot.
dude, I'm so vague on it, but it's either
Oh,
like
that's
their
fucking
kid
weird.
dies and then they have like a robot made of their kid, and then he ends up having a relationship with this fucking kid robot, or it's something like that. I don't know, but I believe it was a French.
Okay, that sounds like a movie I would want to watch.
But they were like freaking out
uh,
because there's like a scene in it where like they kiss or something like that, and I believe it was done with like CGI or something like that. But people were like, "What the fuck is this movie all about? Like, why are they showing like pedo fucking shit in a movie? Blah 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 blah."
right.
I believe it came out of France. France is just pushing the boundaries, and I'm pretty sure isn't France like woke as fuck? Like, aren't they like captain of the woke squad?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know they crumbled in World War II and didn't help us out.
Yeah. Yeah, and they like
I
baguettes.
don't know. I can't find anything about that
Okay, dude,
movie.
maybe I was dreaming about this. I don't know. I just am having this flash of someone talking about this, like on a podcast. Like, this is all fucked up. Blah, blah,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm coming at you with zero information, just blah, 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 blah.
So it's. I mean, I was just trying to on when I was arguing with people on Twitter about it. I was just trying to like not defend it, but criticize the people who are criticizing. If that makes any sense, which is
No,
what I usually
no,
try to
and
do.
totally, totally, absolutely. And your
But then
criticism
and then
is
other
absolutely,
people were
yeah.
saying they're like they're like I just watched Cuties. It was incredible. Don't criticize until you watch it and stuff like that. And it's like maybe it is a masterpiece of a movie, but I just I the problem is when you make something like that, it's going to fall into the wrong hands of people, right? The wrong people, I guess.
Yeah.
The wrong audience. You're going to draw the wrong audience that you're not intending to. You're not going to draw, I guess you
Yeah.
want to draw
Yeah,
young girls or something.
it's like when you sit all the kids down in a school and teach them what to do when a shooter shows up at school. Well, you're also just teaching the shooter what to do when all the kids fucking, it's just gonna fall into
Yeah,
the
I
wrong
guess.
hands.
Right. Yeah, it's exactly like that. So yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it sounds like a movie that is horrible. Like that would be so unenjoyable to watch. Like
well,
I hate
yeah.
to be the
Yeah.
guy that just sees some kind of social justice warrior movement about something, and I just like not really interested in it. I only have so
Yeah,
much
that's
time,
the thing.
and I need to learn about
Yeah.
sconces and stuff. I don't have time to sit and learn about fucking, the sex trade
Right.
and stuff like that. I'm just like,
Right.
leave it to Ashton Kutcher or something like that. He has time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I was just kind of frustrated because I'm like, I would have never the clip that I saw of them dancing on stage. I'm like, I would have never seen this if I didn't see all the commotion about it.
Yeah,
And I've been on Netflix every day for the past 3 weeks. Sometimes I've browsed for other movies. Most of the time, I just watched Bloodline, finished it, loved it. I still haven't seen it on there, so it's like it would have never crossed my fucking desk ever. But that's how a lot of things happen, I guess. You
yep,
know?
yep.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about, I guess I have opinions about this, but, and I hate to just go over headline after headline after headline, which I'm sure most people have heard. Although I hadn't heard that last one, but I know you've heard this one. How do you feel about, Joe Rogan doing the debates?
Well, it'd be amazing, but
It,
it's not going to
it
happen.
would be amazing. Why do you think it wouldn't happen?
Well, because the idea was for the debate to be on his show, and Joe Biden would never go on.
I thought it was just him, right, like, hosting the debate.
The
Yeah,
official debate.
yeah. I thought that's what it was all
Well,
about.
I'd love that. I'd love that too. But from what I saw, it was Trump retweeted Tim Kennedy, and when Tim Kennedy said, me and Joe talked about it, and he would be down to host a 4-hour debate on his podcast, and then Trump retweeted that and said, like, I'm in, I'll do it.
Yeah, that'd be the
It's not
greatest
gonna.
thing ever. Be fucking
Yeah,
amazing. And I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, the theory is, on the right side of the aisle, is that Biden would never do it because he'd just get torn apart, in a legitimate
Yeah.
fucking 4 hour debate with Trump.
Yeah, but and the thing is, it wouldn't be Joe and Trump versus fucking Joe Biden.
Oh no, not at all.
Joe is just the middle, the moderator
Joe is so
thing.
fucking like when he had Bernie Sanders on, or I was extremely irritated. Joe fucking. This is my opinion. This is one of my things I hate about Joe. I think he fucking
Hmm.
panders to fucking people, and it irritates the shit out of me. He doesn't ask people really hard questions. With fucking Bernie Sanders, the whole time I was on there like, dude, what the fuck? These are the questions you're asking him. Like you're being so softball. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This is a guy that has people up in arms about socialism, and you're just fucking
yeah,
throwing little paper wads at him. You know what I mean? Like, oh, answer this softball question and this softball. I've noticed that about Joe. I think he intentionally doesn't lean, doesn't ask questions in fear of the rebuttal. Because if he came at Bernie Sanders, like, well, that's, it really explain that. No, 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 like explain that. Don't just
yeah,
fucking call him over that real quick. Then people be like, oh, he's a fucking right wing fucking alt right piece of shit. What people are already doing. Do you not think
yeah.
that? I think he's really soft on the left.
Well, I've thought that before, but also my history of watching hours and hours and days and weeks worth of hip hop interviews with like rappers. A lot of times a rapper will come in and sit down for the interview and they'll be like in the middle of this of crazy controversies and stuff, but the interviewer will just be like, tell me about the new album. Tell me about the last album. And these real easy softball questions because beforehand the people were like, you can't do this interview unless you stay away from these topics.
Yeah,
So maybe
yeah,
Bernie came in and Bernie's people, not Bernie, but his people were like, Joe, you can't do these kind of things, or you
yeah,
can't do the
totally,
interview.
totally. Which is just
Maybe,
I
maybe,
totally, probably.
yeah,
I feel like Joe should just tell them to go fuck themselves. You know what I mean? Like, but I get
yeah,
that. You're
yeah.
you're probably right. You're absolutely, I'm sure you're right.
Well, maybe. But there's been plenty of times when I'm listening and I'm like, oh, today he's, way on the far left and tomorrow he's going to be way on the far
Yeah.
right,
Well,
whatever,
that's what I'm saying. I
whatever.
think he changed. Like he panders to each
Yeah.
person that's on his show. Like he'll be on with
Yeah.
fucking some hunting guy, and he'll just be coming out,
Yeah.
like yeah, 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 fuck yeah. Or he'll get, the one with the dude Dan Crenshaw when Dan Crenshaw was on, and he's totally just, totally buying into the whole thing. But then he'll have fucking, um, yeah, I don't know, some left wing, Or then he had what's the talk show host, the late night guy, Jon Stewart. Then
Bill
he had
Maher.
Jon Stewart on or whatever, and fucking,
Yeah.
and then yeah, total opposite. Then he's just like, yeah, fucking, yeah, well maybe we should fucking defund the police. You know what I mean? And like, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, but it'd be epic to see that debate. And what's it kind of sucks because it wouldn't be like Trump and Joe Rogan versus Joe Biden. It would be Joe Rogan in the middle and Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. But Joe Biden wouldn't do it because it'd be a bad idea for him to do it. He shouldn't do it. Like for entertainment purposes, he should do it, but for him wanting to be successful, continuing to be successful, he shouldn't do it. If I was his advisor, I would say that don't even think about doing that. That's a terrible fucking idea.
Isn't that the
You need
whole?
a
Isn't
script.
that the whole point though? Like, right now, no. Like the left is just very anti-Trump. Do anything you can to get Trump out of office. But isn't that like, for me, being very far left when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, about 25, I started changing. Um,
Uh-huh.
my
31,
whole my
32.
whole ideology was fuck these politicians. You know what I mean? They're the reason
Yeah.
everything's fucked up in this country. These right wing lifetimer politicians that get in. It's all about money. It's all about greed. Blah blah blah. And I think you say that today, so many leftist, liberal, whatever, liberal people are going to get behind that statement. Be like, yeah, that's exactly what's
Yeah.
wrong with America. Capitalistic, long term bullshit that just ruins everything. You know, blah 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 blah.
Okay.
But then it was once Hillary,
Yeah.
once Bernie lost to Hillary. For me, that was the fucking turning point. Not this last election, but the election before, or you know, the last election.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last election 4 years ago.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that was to me. That was like I quit. You know, I just checked out. I was like, fuck you guys. Obviously, this has nothing to do with like the Democratic Party's fucking fucked from Jump Street, and they just proved it to everybody. You know what I mean? Everyone wanted
Yeah.
Bernie to win. Everyone did. You know what I mean? And the DNC
Yeah.
just fucking fucked him out of it, and they just did again. But now their whole fucking, in my mind, their whole plan is like, don't look at our party. You know, just shh, be quiet. Look at how shitty Trump is. You know what I mean? Like, no,
Right.
don't pay attention to us. Just look how shitty Trump is. And it was like the same thing
Yeah.
in the last election. It was like, well, wait, shouldn't your stance be how good you are versus how bad they are? Not like, don't look at us, only pay attention to him. You know what I mean? That was like my whole problem with the Democrats and like Joe Biden and all that. Like, you don't even give a fuck who your fucking nominee is. You know what I mean? You don't even give a shit how good this guy is. It's just like,
Yeah.
and the same thing with Hillary. It was like, no, it doesn't have to. You know, she whatever. There was some like, let's get a woman in here, type of deal. But everyone wanted Bernie. They fucked him out of that, and then everyone just forgot about it.
Yeah.
6 months later, everyone's like, oh, okay. I was like, what? Fuck that. You know, fuck you guys. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's shitty that your fear of this will ruin my campaign is if people hear me talk for
Yes.
4 hours.
So I'm saying you
That
should be,
sucks.
and the Democrats should be all about that shit. Why would you be against it? You know what I mean? Like, no, put us toe to toe. Let's have a conversation. You know what I mean? Let's fucking go
Well,
toe to toe
yeah,
with our
even-
ideas, and let's see who has a better idea,
Yeah.
or who can run the country better instead of the political game. And everyone's just ignoring it, and they've been ignoring it for fucking 8 years. You know what I mean? Just like, oh no. You know, we don't need to have a good
Yeah,
campaign. We don't need to have a good fucking person in charge.
This is like it's like if you're a sports fan and you're like, God, it would have been great to see like Mahomes versus like or Patrick Mahomes versus like a young Tom Brady, or not. That's a terrible example. Like LeBron versus MJ in his prime, like, and everyone has conversations. It's like, why couldn't we see like Trump versus Obama? You know, because because everybody knows that if Joe Biden gets in that ring or whatever with Trump, how him and Hillary did it, that weird town hall shit with like blue carpet where they're like walking around and he's like circling her like a shark and stuff like that. If Joe Biden gets in that kind of situation, Trump's just going to do the same thing. It's like it's hard to debate with him because even like that Merrick Rosenberg guest of ours said, like she was throwing data out and he was just like whatever, like what are you bringing stats? Why are you bringing stats up and stuff like that? Like Joe Biden's obviously not gonna be successful in that. He needs a script and he needs questions and he needs the moderator to tell Trump to shut the fuck up and let him read the script, his scripted answers.
Isn't that a shitty fucking thing
it can't
for
just
a
be
president? You know what I mean? Like you can't
Yeah, it
even
is
sit
shitty
down and
because
have a conversation with someone.
Right. But here's the thing: if I was him, I would say, fuck that. I'm not doing some 4-hour podcast with you where you're just going to talk over me, you know, and it's going to be like a yelling match. What I'll do is I'll just go on that podcast with just me and Joe Rogan and just have a 3-hour conversation, you know, and that would probably be a lot better. Unfortunately, I don't even think he can do that. But it's like, it seems like as a candidate, wouldn't you want, if people could hear me talk for 3 hours, they'll like me more. They'll fall in love with me. Like, they'll want to hang out with me. I don't know. But that's not the case. If you hear him talk for 3 hours, you're not going to like him more. You're just not.
Yeah.
And that's sad, because you're just liking his scripted answers. I don't know.
Yeah. I want to see a debate.
I'd love to see it.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Well, it'd be rough. It'd be rough to watch, but it'd be great.
Sorry, I said I wasn't going to get political, and there you go. I just go running on along.
Dude, Halloween is in full swing.
Halloween ain't going to happen.
God damn it.
You're not going to be able to accept candy off strangers.
Oh no. Then what are all these people getting prepared for?
I don't know, but it's not going to happen. Maybe happen. It might happen in
This is
Idaho,
gonna be.
but it ain't happening here. That's for fucking sure.
Oh, it'll happen here, 100%. God damn it! I was gonna say this is gonna be my greatest Halloween of all time. Here's how you
Oh,
socially distance with my house. When it comes to me participating in Halloween, here's how we socially distance properly. Don't come to my fucking house. That's the rule every year. I turn the lights off and I hide. Like 2 years ago, someone's knocking on my door. Bang, 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 bang. And I'm just standing there like, fuck. Now I have to be quiet for like 30 seconds till they fucking go away. So don't come to my. I'm just gonna put up a sign on my house that says this house has COVID inside of it. But
there you go. I'll probably turn
we're
them off.
still a fucking month and a half away. However, the department stores and people's lawns make me feel like Halloween's coming tomorrow. It's ridiculous. There's
Yeah.
fucking orange cookies every department store I walk into or grocery store.
Yeah, I
Are you
don't.
doing anything for Halloween?
Dude, I don't get
No?
excited about any. I don't get excited about really anything anymore. You know what I mean? Especially, I don't know. I think I've
Jesus.
said before, Thanksgiving is my jam. Like that's if it's based around food, I'm fucking all about it. Except I don't have any family here, and no one around me is like a good cook, so I'm less excited about it. If I was back home with mom
Right.
and she's cooking some Thanksgiving, fucking I'm
Yeah.
excited about Thanksgiving and Christmas. And has nothing to do with
Right.
gifts, has nothing to do with anything. Just sitting down, big ass ham, big ass fucking turkey, some lamb, mashed potatoes, gravy, fucking
Jesus.
Oh, dude, I'm all about that shit. All about that shit. But no, Halloween,
Do you like eggnog?
it's all right. I don't like sweet things.
Oh.
I'm not into sweets. I don't like cake. I don't like
Yeah.
pie. I'm into savory. I'm into fucking mashed potatoes. I'm into creamy, rich goodness. That is my shit. Anything anything savory, I'm all about. Salty, savory, sweet's not my jam.
Yeah.
Sweet is not my jam. Like if I
Okay.
get ice cream, I get vanilla ice cream. You know what I mean? That's my
That makes sense.
I don't go down any crazy sugar paths. Unless
Oh,
it's
I
black
like- I just like
licorice.
chocolate-
Black licorice, I will get down on
Oh.
some black licorice. All about that shit.
Okay. Oh God, I hate licorice.
Good and plenties?
I'll just got
Mm.
no. Ugh. God, I was thinking about something. Oh, I fucking love eggnog.
It's gross.
It's amazing.
Gross. Not.
Why don't they have it?
I mean, it's not
They
gross.
should have it
but
year
it's not,
round.
It's not. So, I never understood that. Why the fuck don't they have eggnog year round? I don't understand.
It's
that.
the same reason they take the McRib away and then bring it back, and they've done it 12 times. It's just because and pumpkin spice lattes, which I need to fucking get me a fucking PSL this holiday season.
Because if
I'm
they had it
craving one.
around 24/7, the hype wouldn't be there. Yeah. Blah blah blah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. I literally everything you just listed, I could give two fucks about. McRib, disgusting. Pumpkin lattes. If you're not getting an Americano from a fucking, if you're not getting an Americano or like a cappuccino from a fucking coffee stand, you're a piece of shit. Whenever I drive by, dude, I don't think this probably isn't a thing where you're from. Maybe, probably is because it's spread across the country.
We're from the same place.
No, well, I mean fucking North Dakota. You're in a totally different
Right,
fucking
right.
zone than me. I drive down the street
Right.
and I see a fucking. You guys obviously have Dutch Brothers. You have Dutch Brothers there. Do you know what that is?
No.
You don't know what Dutch Brothers is.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I didn't know
Yes,
if that was.
I know what it
I didn't
is.
know if that was a national thing or not. That shit's disgusting to me. You
Well-
go there. They do not give a shit about coffee. You go get an Americano from a Dutch Brothers, a Black Rock. I don't know these like kid coffee shops. And what
Yeah.
Starbucks is turned into, which is just froofy bullshit drinks.
Yes.
Like, you're not a fucking
Yeah.
coffee shop. You're a soda stand. You fucking diabetic pieces of shit. Like, this is gross. That's not
Yeah.
coffee. You're not a coffee person. You're not. Stop thinking
Yeah.
you're a coffee person. You don't even like coffee. If I gave you a black cup of coffee,
Yeah.
you'd spit it out. You want sugar and crack cocaine mixed in a fucking drink and
Yeah.
call it coffee. I hate you. I hate everything about those places. I drive by a fucking, what is that? God damn it! I can't even think of it. I've only been there like 3 times. The blue place.
Dunkin' Donuts?
No, the blue. I just said the name of it.
Blockbuster?
No,
Black something?
no, not Black Rock. The other one, the blue one. Dutch Brothers. Fucking, I drive
Oh,
by,
Dutch
there'll be a
Brothers.
line a mile long out of Dutch Brothers, and I know not a single person is
Yeah.
getting a cup of coffee. Not a single, but yet they're called a coffee shop. I hate it. I hate it.
For some reason, every topic we've covered, I feel like this is the one I'm going to hear the most about from people. Um, someone I heard it on some podcast or radio show that they were talking to some guy who's like into coffee, like he loves coffee, like grinding shit up and going and finding beans on the other side of the world or whatever, and he worked at Starbucks and he quit. And they're like, "Why'd you quit?" He's like, "Dude, I make milkshakes. You make milkshakes here. This is a milkshake factory.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you're just
yeah.
making
People aren't coffee
frappuccinos.
people.
Like,
All you people that think you're coffee people, you're not fucking coffee
yeah.
people. And if you fucking bring up Folgers, I'll fucking shoot you in the face. Folgers is disgusting. Disgusting. It is so rare to actually find someone that likes a cup of coffee. That like likes a good. And this is where I will disagree with you. I do think Starbucks actually does have a good cup of coffee. A lot of coffee people would hate me for that. But to me, it's a good.
Yeah,
An
I
Americano from Starbucks is not bad. Their beans are not
No.
bad. Yes, in comparison to like Doma or a really good coffee bean, yeah, it's not as good, but it's not bad. It ain't fucking
Like
Dunkin'
Pete's?
Donuts.
You guys have Pete's.
See, I don't like Pete's. Pete's isn't. It's not. It's not.
Oh,
It's
Pete's
not
is good.
Folgers, but it's not. Like what I drink at home.
No, like the
what
store of Pete's.
we do, but Pete's also makes. It's a big
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah,
at like
yeah, yeah.
Safeway. What I
Yeah.
get is I get the French blend fucking Starbucks coffee bean, and I got mix it in whole bean, grind that shit up right into the coffee maker. It's fucking delicious. And yes, I could get a froofier coffee, but it's like right in the middle to me. Right in the middle, right down the middle. It's fucking delicious.
I have like Keurig cups, and I fucking Keurig that
Of
shit.
Starbucks, what's your cup?
No, I get a different thing every time. A lot of people say that Starbucks coffee just tastes burnt, which I don't know.
No,
but I've heard that from
McDonald's
multiple
coffee
people.
tastes fucking burnt.
Yeah, that does too. Yeah. I don't know. When they announced the PSLs in the fucking fall, I'm right in line running down to Starbucks with all bunch of girls wearing UGG boots and fucking jackets.
PSL,
And
pumpkin
I need a
spice latte?
fucking PSL.
Okay. I didn't know the
Yeah.
initialism there. Fucking, if you remember from the
I
other
just need
episode,
one.
not acronym, the initialism there. That's disgusting. So so if you go to Starbucks, what do you
Ain't
get?
Usually just like a caramel latte or an iced caramel latte,
Yeah, it's still kind of gross.
depending on the
It's still kind of gross.
temperature outside.
It's definitely not a cup of coffee.
But I go to Starbucks maybe once a fucking year. I don't go there that
Do you
often.
go to get drinks at all? Do you go get coffee from a stand?
Yeah, I mean I hit up I just hit up the stands, like the local small stands.
Do you guys
You
have
get like the punch card.
Do you guys
There's
have the bikini places? Because they're fucking everywhere around here.
I think there's one here. I've never been there though. I
I
feel like going there is like you just want to see girls in bikinis. You don't want to actually.
No,
you don't
I have
actually
the
want
same.
coffee
I've
in
never
there.
been to one, but they're everywhere around here. I'm not saying like if I had been to one, I'd
Yeah, I've never
I'd
gone
admit it.
there.
I'm not playing some high card here. Like I love naked girls. Like I'm all about it. Definitely gone to strip clubs. Don't give a shit. But I don't go to strip clubs saying I'm going there for the beer. You know what I mean? Like I'm just happy
Right.
that they serve the fucking
Right.
beer at the strip club. But yeah, you definitely know.
Right.
You know that the places with the bikini, it's the same fucking argument. If you like coffee, you're not going to those fucking places because you know the owner. I've never gone, so I don't know. But I'm assuming the owner of a coffee shop that hires a bunch of naked girls to serve coffee is gonna save the money on the coffee bean and pay the girls a few extra dollars, and that's his like money maker there. It has nothing to do with the coffee. You know what I mean? Same with BlackRock, or not Black.
Yeah.
But those places they don't give a shit about the coffee they use. It's garbage coffee, and yet the line's a mile long.
Well, yeah, and unfortunately, if I go there and there's hot girls in bikinis, I don't really care if the coffee's good.
Yeah,
You could serve me the
Yeah.
worst coffee.
yeah. A lot of guys I
No,
work with get all
fine.
hot and heavy over these bikini places. I think it's real sad. It's like
Well, I was a pioneer in idea-wise because back in 2011 here, I had the idea to start a fucking bikini barista stand because there wasn't one, and it would have been so much money. And I told Vince the idea about 1 billion times. I was like, we're going to bring girls over from Idaho because the only places I'd lived in my life were stuck in Idaho and North Dakota. I was just like, we're bring girls over from Idaho and start a bikini barista stand, and we'll hire some dudes from Idaho to work security because we're gonna need like a couple of security guys there because 2011 was like the big boom here where there's like, you know, people sleeping in Walmart parking lots making like $150,000 a year. Like there was just people everywhere. So I was like, we should start this now because there'll be a line fucking 2 miles long here of company vehicles with 4 guys in each of them, and we're gonna make a fortune. But we never did.
Yep.
It was just
you
still
missed out.
A progressive idea.
You gotta fucking you get those ideas. You gotta latch onto them somehow. You know, Apple wasn't created by just saying it and then just hoping it would catch on with your friend. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, right. I've had a lot of good ideas that fucking there was no follow through. However,
you gotta
couple years later,
you gotta cash out your 401k sometimes and just fucking go for it. You know what I mean?
oh god,
Oh
yeah,
God.
just moved to Japan. Yeah, like in 2015, I had an idea for an app because the thing is, when you create your grocery list and you go into the grocery store, let's do this the most efficient way possible. This wasn't around in 2015. There was no ordering on an app. This was a long time ago. There was no ordering on an app and pulling up to Walmart and then just bringing your groceries out to you or shit like that, right? So I was like, let's create an app where a store like Walmart, like let's just say in Idaho, they'll upload their blueprint of their store with all the aisles. This is the toy aisle. This is the milk aisle. So you can then upload your grocery list to that app, and it'll route you perfectly around the store to hit all the things you need, even like down to their specific locations on the shelf. I thought it was a good idea, and now it seems like a lot of stores. And I even had the idea of let's do that, and then let's just have you walk out with your cart of groceries and you not have to go to a checkout. It just scans everything. Beep, 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 beep. 1,000 beeps as you walk out, and it just charges you for all the shit you walk out with. A couple years later, like fucking Amazon did that, you know, with the cashierless stores, and Amazon kind of did that with like the pickup, or Walmart kind of did that with like the pickup groceries. But I thought that was a pretty good idea for the time.
You know what my idea was that
happened.
I was jacked up about? Now it would be pointless. It'd be fucking pointless. I didn't see streaming coming. You know what I mean? But this was my $1 million idea, and I told a lot of people, and I think it was a really good idea if iPod stuck around. So my idea was you know, when I was in high school and everyone had iPods, but the problem is how do you get the music onto the iPod? Because you have to own the music first. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So you'd have a buddy. A lot of people were like, hey, take my iPod, because your one buddy would have, like, fucking a shitload of music on his computer. I'd be like, hey, take my iPod and go fucking fill it up for me. You know what I mean? So my idea is to make a website to where you get on the website, you fucking type in a bunch of bands. So, like, I was so excited about this idea. I thought it was such a good idea, and it was. For, like, 6 months, you would have been bawling out of control if you had this website. Fucking, you get on the website, you like type in all the artists you want, and then like you set up a percentage thing. So let's say you type in 10 artists, 15 artists, or something like that, and you say I want 50%. Yeah, I want 50% of the iPod set up with all the music I just did, and then I want 50% of the iPod to have like music of this style. And then you fucking box up your iPod, you send it into a company, and they fucking fill your iPod up and then send it back to you with all that fucking music on it, and
charge you money.
And then charge you money for it. Wouldn't that have been fucking ballin'? And in the time, that was like a revolutionary idea because Spotify didn't exist. You know what I mean? Like, this was before Pandora.
Right.
This was Dizzler. I got the idea off of Dizzler. Do you remember that? It was like the first Pandora. Was like what you would do. You know, it was post Napster, pre Pandora, and so what it was is you weren't downloading that. You kind of were downloading. Dizzler was like a website where you'd get on, and you could just like build a playlist, and it would kind of download it, and then you'd like kind of stream it. It was like in the middle of the two. You'd like type in a song you wanted, and then download it to your playlist. But it was online. It wasn't on your computer. and then you just make this whole playlist,
Right.
and then you'd hit play, and you just bring up Dizzler, and it'd be like Pandora, kind of. You just hit shuffle, and it would just shuffle
Right.
through the playlist you'd created, and then about 6 months after that, Pandora came out and made it fucking pointless. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, well, shit, I just
But
wait.
people are paying like $1 a song. So if I send my iPod into the company and say I want 1,000 songs, are they going to charge me $1,000 and send it back to me?
But on the iPod, you
You know what I
don't really
mean?
own the, you know what I mean? It's stuck on the iPod. You can't like take it out. You can't burn it. You know what I mean? I bet you could come up with some way.
Oh.
If you were a massive company, you could just like, pay the, pay the fucking people 5 cents on the song, and then so you just
Yeah.
you pay fucking $40 or something like that. $20 goes to
Yeah.
artist, and then you pocket the other 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting.
That was my million
I
dollar
was the
idea.
fucking friend. Yeah, I was just thinking about this today. I don't remember why, but I was just thinking back then there was a lot of mothers and friends and girls, I think, that were there'd be one guy who kind of knew how to put music on the iPod and could kind of put, whatever music you wanted on there because they would just illegally download it. And there was a lot of people just handing iPods off saying, can you put these bands on there for me? Can you put that on there for me?" And it's just like, "Yeah, I can." It's a lot easier to ask than it is to spend 45 minutes sitting there getting all these fucking songs on there for you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
And
The people who knew how to access all that were kind of fucked because everybody was just asking them for favors all the time.
so I
And
used
that was me.
in high school we had fucking satellite internet, but like OG satellite internet. It was like post dial-up
Yeah.
internet, and people were starting to get DSL, but we lived out in the boonies, so you couldn't get anything. We could only get satellite, but it was dog shit. It was like
Right.
5% better than dial-up. You know what I mean? It was really bad. And fucking, my brother taught me how to use Napster, and fucking, dude, I spent, like, it must have been my whole freshman year. You know what I mean? My whole freshman
Yeah.
year was just dedicated. Every night I'd get off school, I'd go home, and I'd download 2 songs all night long. You know what I mean? Like,
Jesus
it would take me from
Christ.
5 o'clock till 9 o'clock to get 2 songs downloaded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and this list wasn't even that long, but I was very proud of my Napster list, that I had downloaded. And I came home one day, and my
Yeah.
mom had fucking backed up her computer and erased everything, and fucking didn't back up any of my Napster shit. Oh, I was fucking pissed. I like got home, I'm like, "Mom, what the fuck?" She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." My mom did that fucking twice to me, and I was fucking so mad. So it was the Napster one, and then I used to have an N64, and there was this game called Winback. It was like it was a fucking awesome game. Not very popular. Not many people know this game. But it was like 007, maybe a little what was the video game where you'd like hide behind people and little exclamation point would pop up above your head?
Splinter Cell?
Well, kind of
Uh,
like a mix between 007, Splinter Cell, and fuck, people listening are freaking out because it was such a popular game. Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid.
Okay.
It was like a mixture between all three of
Oh,
those
okay.
games. You know what I mean? A little bit. Like you were just
Yeah.
a shooter game. But on the N64, you had
It's
to
like a
have the
generic version.
memory cards in the back of your controller. Well, I never
Yeah.
had one of those. So the only way to play a game
me neither.
to where the saves saved was,
Yeah.
I think,
Not turn it off.
yeah, you just didn't turn off your fucking N64, and it was a very long game, and I had spent fucking weeks playing this game, and I came home one day and my fucking N64's off, and I'm like, "Mom, what?" She's like, "Oh, I went in your room to vacuum, and I noticed your 64 was on, so I shut it off." I'm like, "No! No! Why did you shut it off?" And I was like 90% done with the game. I was so mad. So fucking mad. Goddamn.
Yeah, for some reason Napster was before my time.
Did you have
somehow.
LimeWire? Because
Missed
it went Napster and then
Yeah.
LimeWire. Yeah. Napster was OG.
Yeah.
I mean, that was during like Quake times. Because I bet Quake was like before your time, like Unreal Tournament. Because you're
Yeah.
28
Yeah.
or something, like 26? How old are you?
9,
29? Yeah, I'm only
29.
2 years older than you. But I got
I
introduced.
missed the Napster.
I got introduced to Napster when I was
Yeah.
in the 7th grade. I went down. My brother showed me, and I was blown away. Just like, what the fuck? this is so cool. And then yeah, by the
Nice.
time I was like it was like my freshman year in high school was when Napster got like everyone started freaking out at Napster. You know, Metallica and
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
they shut Napster down, and then LimeWire came out right after that.
Yeah. LimeWire fucked a lot of people over, but it was good times, and you did help me a lot, LimeWire. But a couple ways you fucked me over. One way you fucked people over that people don't talk about. Of course, they talk about the viruses, but one way you fucked me over is the songs weren't labeled correctly. So to this day, there's still songs that I hear, and I think they're by the wrong band because I had them for so long, titled the wrong way. Like I still think Teenage Dirtbag or whatever is by Weezer,
Yeah, and
and it's
that's All
not,
American
but I
Rejects.
still think it is. No, it's by like Wheatus or
Wheatus, yeah,
something.
Wheatus. That's right. That's right.
But it was titled for under Weezer.
I'm just a
And there's a lot of shit like
dirt
that
bag
because people just
baby.
didn't upload them the right way. They put the wrong bands on
Yeah,
there.
it was the
But
wild west of the internet.
and then also the viruses. Like I'd spend 4 days downloading a movie, and then I tried to open the movie, and the whole screen just went white. There was one time it just went white, but then there was red diagonal lines across it as well, and it was just going like a machine gun sound. And I was like, and just hold the power button on the fucking tower next to you, and I'm like, fuck, that was a terribly bad file that just fucked everything. It
Yeah,
was good times though.
yeah. I don't know why this reminds me of that, just going down nostalgia lane on shit like this, but I don't know how I got it. And this would have been like pre-internet. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously internet came out at this point, but it was such a different thing. 95, 96, 97. Or like the late 90s, early 2000s. Internet was just it was like DOS shit. You know what I mean? It wasn't. Windows 95 was just not. It wasn't Napster or whatever. But I had fucking. I don't know
Hmm.
how I got it. I can't remember what friend gave it to me, but I had on a floppy disk. I had the Anarchist Cookbook,
Jesus.
and fucking
Yeah.
my mom fucking found that when I was like in the 8th grade and fucking lost her goddamn mind. She was so fucking mad. She was so fucking mad. What the fuck is this? And
Jesus.
it just said Anarchist Cookbook on a little floppy disk. Fucking got rid of it. I was so mad because it was so legit. And I don't even think you can get it anymore, right? Isn't that considered like a terrorist fucking like
Oh, I'm sure you
aren't
can
you?
get it.
Yeah, but isn't it like not good to be looking for Anarchist Cookbook? Like because it had like
Probably
it had
not.
how to make bombs. Like I remember one of the bombs in there had all kinds
Yeah.
of shit on there, but I remember one of the bombs was like, well, maybe we shouldn't be talking about this.
No, you can't talk about. Man, I didn't get that until like '06. The Anarchist Cookbook.
Oh, you have had it?
I don't know. I did in like '06. I stumbled across it because I don't know why people. You just like hear about it from somewhere, and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna go find it now. The Anarchist Cookbook. You probably should have titled this. You probably should have written something else on the floppy disk. Your mom, if you would have written something like the New Testament or something on there, she wouldn't have worked.
I didn't
She
write
wouldn't have
it.
even tried to view it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't write it. Someone gave it to
she
me.
wouldn't have even tried to view it. You know what's weird? I think in like Microsoft Word and like Word documents and stuff, the save button at the top left is still a floppy disk.
Oh, that's weird. I never
It's
even
like
thought about that. I bet young
it's like
kids are
the
like, "What the
it's like
fuck
the
is that?" Or they're just
yeah, it's
used
like
to
the
it.
universal symbol for like save when you want to save your
Uh huh.
work. It's fucking weird.
I've never even thought about that. Yeah, now kids would just assume
Yeah.
that that's a weird symbol. You know what I mean? They'd have no idea
Yeah.
what that symbol actually means. I'm gonna have to ask my girlfriend about that because I bet she has no idea what that symbol even is. That's funny. I gotta do that
Oh
when we
Jesus.
get off when we get off this episode.
Okay. Okay.
Did you,
Okay. I have something else if you want, or do you want?
no,
Do you have
let's fucking
something?
keep going, bud.
Okay, so this is all. This is just trend. This is okay. So hang on. Let me open this link here. Oh God, I hope everybody didn't just hear that.
No, I didn't
Um.
hear anything.
Oh, good. Okay. Um. So this is just like internet challenges that have been happening in recent years. That there's a new one now. But In recent years, youngsters on social media have taken part in dangerous viral challenges that left a number of them hospitalized and have alarmed parents. Earlier this year, teens in Spain took part in what's known as the Skull Breaker Challenge. Two students Two students filmed themselves carrying out the seemingly harmless prank with a third unsuspecting participant. As the three participants jump straight up, the two people on the side kick
Oh, okay,
inwards
I've seen that.
to knock the person in the middle off his feet and onto his head, causing a variety of injuries to the head, neck, and wrist. This practice has reportedly landed at least two children in the hospital in the U.S. So in January, two teens in Massachusetts were charged after taking part in the viral TikTok outlet challenge. Uh, the high school students, aged 15 and 16, were charged with attempting to burn a public building. Also known as the penny challenge, the viral trend involves plugging the brick part of a phone charger partially into a socket, then sliding a penny onto the exposed metal prongs.
Okay.
That's kind of interesting. The contact with the penny can create a spark so strong that it can start a fire, damage the property's electrical system, and harm those by the outlet. That's a stupid one. In 2017, doctors warned people not to participate in the Tide Pod challenge. That might be my favorite, where teenagers filmed themselves chewing and gagging on colorful detergent pods, and then daring others to participate. In 2018, teenagers were setting themselves on fire in a desperate attempt to find fame on the internet by taking part in the so-called Fire Challenge. Teens filmed themselves dousing their bodies in accelerant and lighting it. That one's kind of not even very creative. That's just like bare bones. In recent years, parents have been warned over the resurgence of another social media craze in which children burn themselves with salt and ice. The so-called Salt and Ice Challenge involves youngsters placing salt and ice on their skin, causing a chemical reaction that reduces the temperature of the ice to as low as 1 degree Fahrenheit. Participants can Participants then see who can withstand the searing pain longest before sharing photos of the resulting burns similar to frostbite. Some teenagers have been taken to the hospital with third-degree burns. There's a lot, but then there's another one now. Teen dies after taking on the Benadryl challenge on TikTok. So, a 15-year-old Oklahoma City girl died last week from overdosing on Benadryl after she took part in a dangerous social media fad known as the Benadryl Challenge. The Benadryl Challenge is a new game in which teens on TikTok are encouraged to take as much allergy medicine as needed in order to hallucinate or trip out. I kind of like this one, though. The Oklahoma City victim, who has not been identified, was described as a happy and faith-driven teen who is not known to experiment with drugs. The dose can cause a hallucination. The dose that can cause a hallucination is very close to the dose that can cause something potentially life-threatening. Overdosing on Benadryl leaves one vulnerable to heart attacks, strokes, seizures, brain damage, or even death. In May, 3 teens from Texas were hospitalized after they swallowed excessive doses of Benadryl as part of the challenge. So, hey, teens, how is your fucking internet challenges going?
Yeah, I mean,
How are they going?
before the
They're
internet,
not going well.
We were doing core seed and HBP and fucking and Dramamine. I mean, you ever heard about those?
I mean, I've taken Dramamine because I get upset stomach on planes.
You take a lot of Dramamine, you'll fucking fry balls, and then you get super high when you take Coracedin as well. You don't remember those? Those were like huge in fucking the early 2000s.
No.
Okay.
People are desperate.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I like the Benadryl challenge the most. These other ones are just sound really painful.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tide Pod?
Doesn't, I've thought about this before. I'm no fucking chemist or anything like that, but isn't it odd to you? Because I remember working in a restaurant, and they did the ice salt thing. They took a hotel pan, and they put a bunch of ice in it, and then they put a bunch of salt in it, and then put another fucking hotel pan on top of it. And then they took it out in what am I thinking of? I don't know why the word, they take it out somewhere. and so it stays cold for a really long fucking time, so they don't have to keep it in the fridge.
Uh-huh.
And fucking, I remember seeing them do that, and I was like, what the fuck is that for? And they're like, the ice and the salt makes it colder, and the ice will last longer. And I'm just like, what the? And it blew my mind, because then I'm like, well, wait a second. Why does that work like that? But then when your sidewalks are all icy and you throw salt on them, it fucking melts the ice. I've never been able to wrap my head around that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you're just putting like table salt out there. It's like a different kind of salt. It's salt that melts the ice.
It's
I don't know
special
what kind of
salt.
salt,
Okay. Does that
like
not?
the salt you throw on the sidewalk, you can't put on your fucking chicken, right?
Well, I don't. What's the difference between the fucking? Isn't it just big pieces of salt?
Maybe. Maybe that's the next challenge. We'll take the salt that you throw on the sidewalk and we'll just eat it.
Yes.
And see
I love it.
Who can eat the most. Yeah.
The ice melt challenge. I love it.
Ice melt.
Email us, because does that not boggle your mind at all? When you're putting the salt out on your sidewalk, don't you think like, oh, it's just salt. It's just big salt. It's like, sea salt. They just have different degrees of salt, They have a little baby salt,
right,
and then they have, big salt. And you're throwing the big salt out there, and then it melts the fucking ice. Why does regular salt on ice make it super cold and last longer? These are the important things these are the important topics that we're covering on this show.
Breakthroughs. I was just going through this and I was like, which one's my favorite? I think either the Tide Pod or the Benadryl.
I like the ice one.
Sucks
the ice one is like it's like Fight Club. It's like, what's the first rule of ice melt? Fucking, we don't talk about ice melt.
Oh yeah, that was vinegar and...
No, it wasn't vinegar. Vinegar neutralizes burns, chemical burns.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Which I felt super smart getting into, learning the fucking Fight Club one. I felt, super smart getting into concrete, because they're like, how do you neutralize a concrete burn? And they're like, I bet you didn't know it was vinegar.
Vinegar.
And I'm just like, of course I knew that was vinegar, bro. Fucking, you think I'm a fucking retard?
Yeah. Hey, teens. Fucking knock it off. What is your problem? All you're doing is doing the WAP dance and eating Tide Pods. It doesn't sound like a good life. Well, the first part maybe, but all these challenges sound really fucking painful. I think I've seen some of that fire one, because I remember videos of people just like covering themselves in gasoline or something and like lighting themselves on fire and then like running out of the room. It's like, what is happening? That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the
But
fire
I guess you
one.
get a lot of likes.
Yeah, and that's what life's about.
It's all for
It's
likes.
about the likes. Yeah.
Yeah. I was seeing this girl posting Snapchats last night of like in the club, and like she's like filming the room, and like everybody else is filming the room. And I'm like now kind of going to places to have fun isn't about having fun. It's about going there to prove that you were having fun.
I hate
it's
it
about
so
how
much.
can we prove.
I hate it so much. It's ruined concerts. Concerts are, COVID ruined concerts.
Yeah.
But you go to concert, I get so fucking mad. Just like, put your goddamn phone away and have fun. Like, that's the whole point we're here, is to have fun. Like, you proving to your...
No, it's to prove that you were having fun.
And it's so stupid that people
don't
realize that no one gives a shit. And it's the same thing with the Facebook post I was talking about earlier. No one cares. No one cares about your life.
No.
Like, they really don't. Like,
No.
once you realize that, you will be happier. That just like, oh, I don't have to live for my social media likes. I can just go to the river and float down it and not take pictures of it. You know what I mean? Like, I can go on vacation and shut my phone off. You know what I mean? I guarantee you will enjoy your vacation more. Guarantee it. 100%. Guarantee it.
Yeah, I've kind of never even thought of that before. That's interesting. I might try that. Not living for my social media.
Yeah. It's a hard one. It's a hard one.
Yeah, it is.
So
yeah, it's like, oh, if your friend was post a video at a fucking Slipknot show, it's like nobody cares that you're there.
Especially at a concert,
that I saw
because if you take a video at a concert, you're a real piece of shit. Because not only does no one give a fuck, you don't give a fuck, because rewatching that is god awful. Like, it's horrible. You know that. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like, what are we listening to right now? This is so fucking bad, and it
Well,
looks like shit.
and like, yeah, and I'm pretty aware of bands and artists. Like, I'm pretty fucking in tune with who's out there. I've watched like 2 minutes of people posting the concert they're at on social media, and I can't figure out who the fuck is performing.
Yeah,
And it's a stadium full of people,
it's
and I'm
god
like, okay,
awful.
this is obviously somebody, but I can't figure out who it is because I can't tell off your video. But look, I've done it a few times, but my strategy is like in an hour long concert, I'm gonna take like 7 seconds of video,
So
and that's it.
you know what I was really mad about? Because it's obviously like it's the fucking craze. But this would have happened like beginning of the phone craze, but still very much in the phone at concerts. Like that's just all people are fucking doing and doing the fucking horizontal fucking plank. You know what I mean? Just standing there dead still. Fucking drives me nuts. I hate going to concerts now. But I went to Against Me probably 5 years ago, and I was shit.
Wait. The horizontal plank?
Or the vertical plank.
What are you
Sorry,
talking
the
about?
vertical plank.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
just sorry, I
Okay.
mixed up my horizontal and my vertical.
Remember
Um,
planking?
that's what I'm saying.
God, that was the best.
That's what I'm saying. Uh, but
Wow.
I go to this fucking show, and this was when I was really excited about the technology, and I was really happy about people having phones at shows. But for some fucking reason, it didn't work in my favor. And so I was at the show. I was shithouse drunk, and I was with this girl, and I told her I was like, "This is my favorite band." It was Against Me, and I was like, I love this band," and I was like, "I know it's a thing of his that they allow people on stage, or like it's because they're kind of like a punk rock band, and like."
Hmm.
So I get all drunk, and then at the end of the show, she's like, "Get up on the fucking stage," and she like pushes me. I was like, I don't know if I want to. And then finally, I'm like, "Fuck it," and I get up on stage, and like a few people had done it, and they just like push him off the stage, but like I started screaming the fucking lyrics at the top of my lungs, and like I was doing it right, and they let me stay on stage for about a minute. Like they let me stay there, and I got in between the bass player and the guitar player, and it was just scream. It was like this weird part of the song, a breakdown, and it was the fucking best day of my life, hands down the best day of my life. Got to sing on stage with them, and then I fucking do a stage dive,
Yeah.
and I legitimately got to do a stage dive and get carried to the back, all the way to the back door, and they let me off. Fucking best night of my life. It was so fucking fun.
Whoa.
And the next day, I wake up and I'm like, I was so amped up. It's just like, oh my god, I can't believe that fucking happened. That was so fucking fun. And then I get on Instagram and I realize, like, dude, shitloads of people are posting the show from last night. And it's like hashtag Against Me. You know what I mean? So, like, through the
Yeah.
hashtags and, like, on Twitter and stuff, through the hashtags, I can start filtering out. I'm seeing what everyone's posting from that night. Literally
Yeah.
every minute of the show except that, and I don't understand why. I was so mad. I was like, how the fuck can I not find this? I literally went through their whole sound list. I was like, fucking
Hmm.
now you guys fail me. Now your fucking phones. You put your phones down right when that happened. You fucking assholes. I was so mad. But yeah, I guess that's just a
Damn.
weird story about that. But I hate it. It's so irritating. Just put your phone away,
Yeah.
especially at a concert.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. For sure. That's craziness. That's a good little secret story time.
That was. It was. It was the best day of my life,
Yeah.
hands down. It was very fun.
Jesus.
Um, a weird. Let me go into a weird secret story time. This one is just something
Okay.
that happened this week. So I was sick as
Oh
fuck
boy.
after the episode. You know, last week's episode. So sick Sunday, got real bad Sunday night. Monday, sick as fuck. Tuesday, I'm like, okay, I got to go to a doctor. You know what I mean? Like it's the fever has lasted over 3 days. I got to go to a fucking doctor, see what's going on. And
Yeah.
so I get into a doctor, 10 a.m. I drive down there. They fucking make you.
Did you stay away home from work?
Yeah. Well, it kind of worked out because the fires fucking the air quality
Oh.
shut down work. Pretty much all people working outdoors, they shut it down
Gotcha.
because the air quality was so bad.
Okay.
But so on Tuesday, I fucking go to the doctor, and I'm feeling like shit. You know, I'm not feeling very fucking good. And they're like, so when I call, I'm like, hey, I don't know what the deal is, but I have a fever and my sore throat, blah, blah, blah. Can I just go into the urgent care? And they're like, no, when you get here, you're going to have to sit in your car and we'll come out and give you a COVID test and then you have to wait, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I get there and dude, it takes for fucking ever. I'm sitting in my car forever and I'm feeling like shit. I just want to go back home and go back to bed. I'm not fucking happy right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, and then they come out to do the COVID test, and I fucking start rolling my window down, and it fucking just, dude, it's rolling down just so fucking slow. And at first I'm like,
Okay.
what the fuck is going on here? And then it dawns on me like, oh no, my fucking battery's dead. I've been sitting here so fucking long with the radio on and shit, and my lights were on. I forgot to turn my headlights off, and so my fucking battery's dead. I'm fucking sick as fuck with a fever, dude. Stuck in the middle of nowhere with a fucking dead battery. Oh, I was so fucking mad, dude. Jumping my girlfriend gets there like, why are you so mad? The fucking takes I'm so fucking mad. I'm out here fucking jumping a battery. I feel like dying. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just a weird story. It was not a good time to be jumping a battery with a fever. You know what I mean? Not a good time.
That's fucking... Why don't you leave your car running?
I didn't think about it. I didn't think my battery
Jesus
was going to
Christ.
die. I had a fever. My brain wasn't working properly. I didn't think
So did you have COVID?
No, I didn't. So I'm on COVID test too, and I'm still COVID free. I want to go do the
I've
antibiotic
never
test
taken one.
to know if I got it.
That's what I should take.
No, I don't know what
the
I
fact that I haven't got it.
I don't know what I had.
Insane.
My sore throat got really fucking bad. I could barely eat, and they did the fucking strep throat thing, and they said I fucking didn't have strep throat either, but they said that's not 100%. They said sometimes you can still have strep throat. And then they do that, and I'm like, wait a second, so you can still have strep throat, and I failed this, I passed the strep throat swab thing. I'm like, well, how fucking effective is the corona test? You know what I mean? If that one can fail, why can't the corona test be wrong? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So did you quit drinking?
I did, actually. I haven't drank since Friday. I haven't smoked a cigarette since Friday either. So we're at a week and a day. No.
A week and a day.
Week and a day. 0 alcohol, 0 cigarettes, 0 chew.
Good.
Yeah.
Fuck drinking.
Yeah, it honestly didn't come from a health perspective. It came from realizing how much money I'm going to start owing on this fucking mortgage I just signed myself up for. And I'm like, well, the first thing that can go is the fucking alcohol and cigarettes. Because I did the math on that, and between me and the girlfriend, that came out to about $250 a month. And I was like, well, fucking, that's an easy $250 I can cut out of my fucking bills.
Yeah. God, this Bloodline show that I just watched, it's like every time the smallest little argument happens, it's just like break out a bottle and just start fucking drinking. And I'm like, it's not cool to, whenever the tiniest little thing happens, that you just have to get blackout drunk.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I used to turn to weed for that in a way, but now, you know, I don't know. And then I kind of had this thought that maybe everybody's problems in their life, maybe everyone has, like, the equal amount of problems.
Yeah, I think we do, for the most part.
And, like, it's all just about how you deal with them.
Yeah.
Like, equal levels almost, I don't really want to say of seriousness, because people have some serious fucking problems,
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's like when I have because I feel like maybe everyone has the thoughts that are like thoughts of like your past, or things you've done wrong, or things you regret, or things that are just dwelling on your mind that you don't do. Like, oh, I didn't tell that person I love them enough, or something like that. And it's like, if you just have to get blackout drunk whenever those thoughts come around, like, you know what I do? I just sit and be sober, and just like, instead of rerouting my emotions to going to numb, I just dive right down the hole of those thoughts and just go deep and deep
and that's
deep.
good. That's good for
like,
your, psyche. That's good.
Yeah.
Something that sat with me along the same lines, and is a, I think one of my downfalls with drinking, I think part of me, with drinking so much, because I drink a lot. I've drank more than most people my age. And, I don't know if it's really this, a lot of people, like AA people, be like, oh, you're running from all your demons and blah, 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 blah. And I guess, maybe some part of that is, running from something myself. But I honestly think a lot of it is just boredom. I don't like being bored. And then so I drink because it's like it numbs the boredom. You don't have to be bored anymore. You just get drunk and doing something dumb becomes interesting. Your brain like resets every 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're just drunk.
Yeah.
And doing that. But then, something that's sat with me for a long time, and I really beat myself up over it. And I know he's not like, he's a no one in most people's eyes, but there's this guy I follow or did follow on Facebook. His name is, I don't know his name, but his band name is Marvin, and he's a gypsy jazz player. Fucking phenomenal guitar player. Really good. Like, top-notch guitar player. And, I mean, when he does his scaly shit, he is up there. He should be fucking phenomenally clean guitar player. And, he would do these every day, or, like, at least every other day. He does these Facebook Live things, and I'd watch him all the time. He's awesome, and it'd be like me and 50 other people just watching him, and he just sits down and he practices. And he's fucking, dude, he's on Facebook Live more than anything. And one of the ones he was talking about is he said, someone brings up, like, how are you so good? Give me some tips and techniques. And this isn't the first time I've heard this, but he said it in a different way. One of my mentors at Sandpoint Music, I can't remember his name, but another one of the best guitar players I've ever met in my life. He lives in Sandpoint, and I'm serious, fucking one of the best. God damn it, fucking love the guy. Can't believe I can't remember his name, but he's fucking phenomenal. He's amazing. He's an amazing guitar player. But what he said, I asked him one day. I was like, how are you so good at guitar? Like, what are some tips and tricks? Like, how are you this good? I mean, because he's amazing. He can do Hendrix. If you close your eyes, you think you're listening to Hendrix. Or if he wants to copy Steve Ray Vaughan, you think you're listening to Steve Ray Vaughan. It's spot on perfect. And he's like, dude, since I've been 20 years old, I've played guitar 4 hours a day, every single day. For 25 years, I have never not played for 4 hours. And it's just like, holy shit. That is so much fucking time. And this other guy, Marvin, was essentially saying the same thing. He's like, you know what you need to do is, he's like, you need to throw away your fucking PlayStation. He's like, your PlayStation kills boredom. He's like, that's what they turn on Netflix, they turn on TV because they don't want to be bored. And he's like, it's the great, this was his theory, Marvin's theory, is he's like, it's one of the worst things for our society is this boredom killer shit. This, like, PlayStation. Like, he's like, you know what makes really good musicians? Boredom. Because you get bored. And then you fucking find something to invest your energy in. And if you're never bored, you're never going to be good at something. You know what I mean? And, like, fuck. That mindset sat with me so much. And I blame alcohol. Alcohol is my boredom killer. I still play video games, but I don't play as much as other people do. I don't think. I watch other people play a lot more video games. But I'll get bored, and I'll drink, and then that's my boredom killer. Then I just go smoke cigarettes, drink, go talk to people, go to the bar. So
wander around.
Yeah. So me quitting has nothing to do with that, but I do think about it all the time. People need to be bored. You need to sit inside your head. Yeah. You need it. It that's what creates gold. The fucking best writers, the best painters, the best musicians, they were all real fucking bored. You know what I mean? And they're like, you know what?
Well,
this is what I'm going to do.
Probably the best basketball players, the best stuff like that too.
Yeah, but you get the path I'm going down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you saying you get bored, so you get drunk. The people in AA would say, well,
you're
getting drunk. You think that's what it is.
Yeah, and
because you could say, like,
I'm sure,
I go party every night at the club, and I'm having fun, and then they'll be like, you're not really having fun. You're actually trying to escape.
Yeah. I'm sure, I'd bring up, I hate my father, and they'd be like, oh, there it is. And it's like, no, I just hate my dad. That doesn't make me depressed. I just don't like him. You know what I mean? Like, he's not my favorite person on the planet.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I know. And so I think for the longest time I did it with weed, where it was just like every day, twice a day, da 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 da, da you know. And then when I stopped that, it was like, oh, now I just have to sort of just live with these thoughts. And then I was just like, fuck it, let's just go down the hole into the thoughts and just think about shit. I
Yeah.
don't know. But then, and you see on TV, oh, the smallest little argument with your mom, and you have to go fucking, gotta get a like shot after shot at the bar. Like, boom, can I have another one? Boom, can I have another one? And the bartender's just like, oh, fuck, this guy. And he's like, can I have another one? Bang, bang. And it's like, what are you doing, dude? Fucking, it
Yeah.
just looks stupid.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm totally
It
wrong.
looks like more cowardly. Yeah.
I may just be.
It's like more cowardly than actually just sitting sober.
Oh, it's very.
However, I know people got shit.
Absolutely, absolutely cowardly.
Yeah.
It is, and drinking's an
Yeah.
easy escape from whatever. I honestly think I'm at 60-70% just boredom, is where my shit comes from, and then it just becomes a habit of just like fucking. Well, I'm off work now. What do? Go get a six pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking. That's what we do. That's what we've done every
Yeah.
day for the last fucking 6
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. No, and I've thought of that too. Like, if I just got rid of my TV completely, not some stupid thing of like, oh, I'm gonna have it, but I'm not gonna watch anything. If you just got rid of it completely, maybe some creativity would come out of that. Maybe some new projects or ideas or new friends or something would come out of that. And my brother one time, because he lived with me for the longest time, and he's trying to be a rapper or whatever, and he liked to play Fortnite all the time. What he went and like sold his Xbox because he was like, this is too distracting. And like 3 weeks later, he went and bought a fucking brand new one and like lost a bunch of money because he sold it for nothing and fucking had to go buy a new one because he was playing mine. I'd come home and he'd be playing mine. I'd be like, what the fuck, dude? And he'd be like, I sold mine. It's like, yeah, okay. Fucking log out, sign out of your account on mine. I don't want your friends messaging me. So then he just had to go buy another one. So it didn't work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was a good idea, I guess. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's just
I wish I'm
distractions.
fucking our whole society. I'm no better. I talk a lot of shit on people younger than me, but we're all real shitty about boredom. You know what I mean? We fill our fucking board. Imagine it being 1915 right now. You know what I mean? There ain't no fucking TV in your house. You know what I mean? You're gonna go learn
Yeah.
some shit. You're gonna go do something. You're not gonna just zone out in front of the
Yeah.
TV. Fucking eat chips.
I mean, I have no idea what I would be doing, what I would do
Well,
then.
they did have
Like, what
alcohol
am I
back
gonna
then,
do?
so I would have probably just found the same exact thing.
Well,
Just minus the video games.
I know, but even as a kid, there would be times when I'd go and I'd be like, let's see how deep of a hole we can dig. Let's just fucking start digging. Let's
Yeah.
see how far down we can go.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of that anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what kids do.
Yeah.
Apparently, if you watch Cuties on Netflix, they do a bunch of weird shit.
I don't like getting too internal.
It's fucked
Getting
up.
super internal is not fun for me. I get really nervous with mushrooms sometimes. Mushrooms can scare the fucking shit out of me. I don't know if you do good with mushrooms, but I've had some fucking bad ones, and it is all up here. It has nothing to do with
Yeah.
like seeing dragons or
Yeah.
anything like that. It's all just up in my head, and I'm like, you're a piece.
Yeah.
There's just this voice in the back, like you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. You know that? You're a piece of shit. I'm just like, I am a piece of shit. Fuck! And just like, yeah. Not good with the mushrooms.
That's fucking weird. That's really weird. No, I feel like I had more bad times than good.
On mushrooms?
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm 50-50. If I'm 50 fucking 50. I've had bad
Yeah.
ones, real negative ones. You want to hear a negative?
maybe that's a good
You want to do I've done three story times. You want to hear another one? This one, the mushroom one.
Sure.
This one's Narbar. Sorry about all the stories. But when I was
Well, I can't give you my bad mushroom one today, but maybe someday. But I'm curious to see if it's worse, better, or worse.
this was like my first time doing mushrooms. I think it was my first. And I lived in the Diagonal House. And we had taken I was with the Adrian guy, fucking Adrian. I've talked about him, right? The hippie that shit in all
Okay.
of our shoes and our toothbrushes. Remember that? Okay, so maybe I didn't, but whatever.
You didn't tell that story.
I didn't. The
No.
guy who's like this fucking lamp was making all the noise, and then he's like, I'm gonna shit in all your fucking shoes. Nothing. I never told that story.
I don't
The black
remember
girl
that.
sleeping on the
I
couch.
don't think so.
Okay, whatever. Um, okay, story for another time.
I don't know.
But this one,
Yeah.
I'm with this Adrian guy, and he has a bunch of mushrooms. And everyone's like, this whole house, everyone's just got mushrooms. Like, but this, and they're all coming. I'm pretty sure they're all coming from this Adrian guy, and he gives me like a little bit of mushrooms at the beginning of the day, and we drive up, and I'm just like, I didn't even know what this was at the time, but I was essentially just microdosing all day, just a little bit of mushrooms, and I had a great fucking day. And we drive up to fucking he had set up this teepee in the mountains, and fucking we drive up to this teepee, and I think I drop him off up there, and I'm hanging out with him and drive home and fucking feeling great. And I go into the back house, and there's all these people at the house. In the front house where everyone like lived, no one's like hanging out in there. There's only a few people. Everyone's in the back house like watching. I think they were watching Fight Club. And I go into the back house and fucking we all decide to take a bunch more mushrooms. And so I had taken like maybe 2 caps through the day, like maybe 1 cap early and then another cap. And then at the end, like at, let's say, 5 o'clock, I fucking take like, it's been hours and it's been like 5 or 6 hours. And then I take a good amount of mushrooms. So I take like 4 stems, 4 like, I don't know, fucking good fucking handful of mushrooms.
Yeah.
And fucking eat them.
Yeah.
And then we're just hanging out in the back house, and I'm like standing on this skateboard, and I'm like closest to the door, and I'm there for like a half an hour, 45 minutes. Everyone's like hanging out, and then it starts getting a little weird, getting a little, and I'm like, holy shit,
Oh.
and I'm getting a little scared, and fuck it. And then I have this thing with mushrooms too, where I always feel like I have to shit. Like I always feel like I have to shit. It's really uncomfortable for me. It's really uncomfortable, and.
Yeah.
And so I constantly, when I'm on mushrooms, I'm always going to the bathroom. And then bathrooms are just bad places when you're on mushrooms to begin with, because like you just looking at the mirror.
Oh yeah.
And in our bathroom in particular, it had a red light, so everything fucking turns red. And then you're looking at the mirror, and your face is like the shadows are like going, and you just like look demonic.
No.
And just fucking.
Ta.
And
Yeah.
so I'm like,
This is hard for me to listen. This is hard for me to listen to because it makes me feel like I'm on mushrooms right now. But I've been with like a first timer before, and I told them beforehand. I said, "Don't go into the bathroom because you can get trapped in there." And halfway through whatever we're doing, they go to the bathroom and they're not coming out. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And the person's like, "Don't worry about it. I'm shaving, dude." And I'm like, "Dude, oh my god, dude, what did I tell you?" What the fuck did I tell you? Anyway.
So I think I like went to the bathroom and just sat there on the toilet. And this is my first time, so I don't even know what's happening. Now I know it about myself. I know that if I start frying balls, I feel like I'm shitting my pants or pissing constantly. It's just I have this feeling like I'm shit, like I'm in the act or just about to shit, and it's or piss, like I'm gonna piss myself, and fucking. So I'm like, I'll sit on the toilet. Like that day, I remember like I leave the back house, go to the front house. I'm by myself now, and everyone's just leaving me alone. Like no one even knows what I'm going through. I don't tell anybody what I'm going through. I just go and I'm like sitting on the fucking toilet and like can't shit, but I'm sitting there forever and I'm starting to fry hard. Like it's starting to come on strong.
Well, it feels like forever.
Yeah, but it's coming on. Like visually, shadows are moving in and out all over the place. It was probably the hardest I've ever fried was this trip. And then I go into my room, and this dude named Kyler was there, and he was like a really good friend of mine, and it was just me and him, and he was the oldest person in the house. And he's just by himself watching TV in my room. And I like go in, close the door, he's in a chair next to me, and I fucking sit on my bed, and I'm like, dude, and I explained to him, I'm like, dude, I'm not having a good time. I was like, I'm fucking freaking out, bro. And he's like, dude, I get it. And he fucking heroin addict from Detroit. He's been around the block. He knew what to do. And he's like, dude, just calm down. He's like, everything's fine. He's like, smoke some pot. Everything will be fine. He loads up a bowl. We just smoke. And like, dude, it's getting harder. Everything's getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And I'm sitting on my bed like crisscross. and I'm watching the TV, and he's sitting there next to me. It's like 6 o'clock in the afternoon in the summer, and fucking,
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, and there's one window in my room, and we got a TV. It's like a 28-inch, 30-inch TV. It's like up on top of a dresser, and it's, it's on, and it like hits us infomercial, and the infomercial, it's just this 2-minute, infomercial, and there's like this dude talking, and I'm staring at the TV, and then
Oh my God.
and then all the shadows just keep creeping down, and it just gets darker and darker and darker and darker in the room till it's fucking pitch black in the room, and all I can see is the TV. And then as the lights are going down, the audio is going, the tune of it is like dropping as well. Like it's going like high, it's going to real low pitch. It's matching the visuals. Everything's getting darker.
Yeah.
The audio is getting darker too. Like, and I'm side note, I've always had very vivid audio. Like, my audio gets really fucked up when I do hallucinogenics. I always like hear things, like birds chirping and shit. Like, I'll hear things, and so my audio is very affected by mushrooms. And fucking the audio drops way down, and the guy's voice is like he's just a normal infomercial guy, and then it goes like darker till it's like the devil. And I get like everything's black in the room, and I'm just staring at the screen, and the guy like he's talking normal, and then he like turns and he just like looks at me, and he just like locks on to me. And now the guy on the TV is like talking to me, and he's like he says some like super demonic shit. He's just like, I will fucking, and he's like, I will fucking kill you, like blah blah blah, and then everything just zooms back up, and fucking it just all goes back up, and the light comes back, and I just fucking, what the fuck? And I turn to Kyler, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and I get up, and then I run into the next person's room, this couple, and I explain to them, because Kyler's like kind of ignoring me, and I explain to them, I'm like, I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm like, shit is not fucking good right now. And I like curl up in a ball on their floor. And like, I'm just like, I'm not having, like, I'm fucking I'm freaking the fuck out. And they're just like, everything's all right. It's calm. Just calm down. Then
fucking downer.
Then my buddy Mountain comes in. And so I'm like 18. I'm like 18 at this time.
Oh my God.
And, I just gotten kicked out of my parents' house. And, like, shit between my family's not good. Like we're not all in...
That's the worst possible time.
Yeah, well, yeah, I wasn't in a good space, and I wasn't, like, mentally capable. I wasn't a mentally sound person at the time. I was sad about everything in my life as far as, like, I wanted my mom and shit, and my mom's pissed at me, you know what I mean? Anyways, my brother Dirk...
That's how my life is now.
My brother Dirk... Yeah. Okay, so Mountain comes in the room. I'm freaking the fuck out. And now it's been like an hour. I'm like an hour into the trip. And he fucking comes in the room and he's like, hey, your brother's here. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, your brother Dirk's outside. And I'm like, tell him I'm not here. He's like, oh no, I already told him you're here. I told him you're high on mushrooms. And I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, and like this brother, and like, dude, I come from a Mormon family. You know what I mean? Like, I don't come from a family where you say shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, dude, then it just spirals out of control. I fucking lose my mind. You know what I mean? I'm just like, but I was like, are you fucking with me? He's like, no, your brother is right outside. I just told him you're high on mushrooms. And I'm just like, why the fuck would you say that to him? Oh, dude, it was the worst.
Is he fucking with you?
No, my brother was there. Absolutely there. And then, like, late, after, days go by, my brother's like, tells my mom about it. It was all horrible. It was not good. Yeah, that's the whole story. But that was the scariest time of my life. The TV thing, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget the room like just slowly going dark and the guy's voice just slowly dropping in tone until it got demonic. And like, dude, at that point, the Kyler dude, he was no longer in the room. Like, it was just black. Like, it was just really dark. And it was just all I could see was the TV. And it just like, it did this like wave, dude. It just came in this huge wave. It just like, and then it just passed and everything came back. And I was like, what the fuck? It was bad. I didn't do mushrooms again for like 2 years after that. I was scared shitless of mushrooms. I was terrified of mushrooms. I was like, I'm never doing that again. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Jesus,
but
dude.
you get older and they get better. Then once you get good with yourself and you're comfortable in your own skin, they're fun. Then they're fun. If you're not scared of them, if you're good in your own skin, then it's a really fun experience. And then that's when the giggles and the laughing and just the good part, you'll see everything will be happy. And mainly be in the woods. If you can be in the woods, be camping with good people, a fire going, fucking best. Those are the best trips ever. Those who just have a blast.
Lock yourself in a room, turn your phone off.
That is
close the blinds and stay in that room.
No, be in the woods.
You'll have a good
be in
time.
the woods. No, be in the woods, be with good friends.
Dude.
Start a fire. That's the fucking way to do it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on mushrooms now. Yeah, it's weird. I was just having this conversation like 2 days ago. I was saying like a little bit can make you all giggly and happy, and it'll be the greatest time ever, and you'll be laughing, and you won't be able to stop laughing, and it'll be fun. But a lot of them, and I've never done anything bad on mushrooms. I've never done like a bad thing, a bad deed, but I can sort of see how it could happen. I could sort of see how you just like wander out into the highway because you no longer think that reality is real. And that's a scary thing.
I don't think that.
Because I've had conversations that at like the peak that were like so dark and fucked up that I never ever thought that I could ever go there. And thank God they're just conversations and not like actions, but the shit can get fucking dark.
See, I've never done a drug before where where I'm still not me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still not centered in my own head. Like, even I've tripped balls on lots of different things. I've done a shitload of salvia. I'm still me. Like, I'm aware of what's happening to me. I'm just sometimes, it's like when I'm fucking hammered drunk and I can't even move and I'm laying on the ground and like gonna puke. My brain is still like, knows what's happening. It's just my body can't move. Same thing while I'm frying balls on mushrooms and it gets real dark. My brain is still like active and I know like I'll start freaking out and get sweaty and freak the fuck out. But in my head, I still know like I'm here. I'm experiencing this. This sucks balls. I don't want to be here. Same with salvia. I'll be like glued to the floor and my brain is still like, this is fucked. You're in a fucked situation, but you're still here. You're still like cognizant of like what's happening.
Yeah. See, I've had a different experiences. It's like, but that's my argument with alcohol when people do stuff that's fucked up. Is like, I've been fucked up. I still knew what was happening. I was still myself. But there, with the mushrooms, there was multiple times when I think like a sort of thing was crossed, where, I mean, there was one point where there was one point when I had the thought, maybe everything around me right now that where I am and everything I'm seeing, maybe this is all not real and I'm actually somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe something bad happened 5 minutes ago and I got like arrested and I'm actually like on my way to jail, but I'm still imagining that I'm still right here. And then I was like, oh, we're like, we're across the plane now. It's over now. This is fucked.
Huh. I've seen some weird shit on mushrooms and I've
fucked up.
experienced some weird shit.
Yeah.
But I still like know basically what's happening. Like I know where I'm at. I'm just having a hard time dealing with it.
Yeah. That happens. So that's the majority of the stuff that happens.
You know the weirdest thing?
I just once had the thought of,
The weirdest thing I've ever actually done and experienced, and I don't know how anybody would be able to reenact this, but I lived in the crazy cat house. Remember? I've told you that, right? I lived with a shitload of cats.
No, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
I lived in this house with like 40 fucking cats for a period of my life. Like a shitload of fucking cats. Shitloads of cats. And I came home one time, another different experience, but I had a bad experience on mushrooms. It wasn't as bad. I was just mainly more mad at the people I was with and left a party because they were all fucking with me. And I was like, okay, fuck you guys. I'm frying balls. I'm out of here. Got in a car, drove home, Very bad decision. I couldn't really see what I was
Well,
doing,
yeah.
and the road was like 100
Yeah.
feet wide and an inch fucking tall. It was the weirdest visual, whatever. I get home
Huh.
and I walk in the door of this fucking crazy cat house, and fucking I open the door, dude, and there's just 40 fucking cats staring at me. And like, dude, they all like know. They all know that something's up. Because usually you'd walk in the
Yeah.
house and they'd just be asleep, and like maybe one cat looks over and then fucking goes back to bed. But I walk in and, dude, every cat in that house like fucking hackles go up and they all fucking turn and look at me. And I just stood in this room for probably 5 minutes and just stared at cats and was just like, what the fuck? Dude, they like knew. There was like, they knew I was fucked up. It was weird. It was such a weird thing to be around that many cats frying balls.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's like the 100th monkey shit or something. So, like, there was a time, so like with acid, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so I went into a bar with a buddy, and this is just a quick little snippet of a story. But we go up to the bar was called the 219. We go up to the bar, and I'm standing there, and I'm just gonna say, can I have a, I don't know, I don't even know what I was gonna order, and I said, can I have this drink or whatever, and the girl, I'll never forget this. The girl looked at me, and she was just like, ha ha blah 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 blah, and just staring at me dead in the eyes. And I look next to me at my buddy, and he's just looking back at me with like the biggest smile on his face. And I look back at her, and I repeat what I said. I say it again. And she goes, oh, yeah. She's like, yeah, I was just fucking with you. And I was like, what the fuck? It was crazy.
Oh, she knew you
It
were
was
high.
like, no. She was just fucking, I don't know. Maybe she
must
did.
have, she saw your eyes, knew you were all fucked up.
That's a fucked up thing to do to somebody. Jesus Christ.
I would totally do that to someone.
No, that is fucked up. I thought, I didn't know what I thought, but that was craziness.
Boom. Rock and roll.
Boom.
I got
Okay,
one
you wanna
more.
wrap it up?
One more little
Okay.
thing here. This isn't, I
Okay.
don't even know, but I heard this probably a year ago. I don't know where I heard it, but then I heard it the other day on a podcast, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a fucking thing, and I don't even know where to go with this, but there's a theory going around that a lot of black people think that white people smell like wet dogs when they're wet.
Yeah. I heard that a
Have you
long
heard
time
this?
ago. No, not when
No.
they're wet, just all the time.
Smell like wet dogs? I heard when they're wet, like
Yeah,
when
it was a thing like if you when you used to play those games when you were bored, when you'd go to Google and you just would type in like what does a girl, and then you just wait to see what the suggestions are. So you
Uh-huh.
type in black people think, and then the top one would be like that white people smell like wet dogs.
Huh.
And that was the thing for the longest time, yeah.
So there was they on this podcast I was listening to, they went down a whole conversation about that, but then they kind of touched on what I'm about to say, but I went down a little Google trip last night, and this one girl had written this story out to where she went to Asia, and she was in Asia for China or something like that, or Vietnam, for like 6 months, and was eating their food, like was eating with a Chinese family or whatever, and then came back to America, and she said everyone smelled like cheese, and supposedly a lot of Asian people think white people smell like cheese, and she was saying
Huh.
her theory was that it's because there's like no dairy or no cheese in their diet. And then so when they come around white people, they can like smell it. The same how like we think that if you don't eat a lot of garlic and then you go around Chinese people who have a significant amount of garlic in their diet, you'll smell garlic, whereas they don't smell it on each other. Like they don't smell the garlic. And like they were saying, we smell like cheese and dairy
Fucking weird.
because they don't have any cheese or dairy in their diet. So we just like have this smell that we're all like used to. And to them, I guess they think we smell like cheese, which is real gross. But wet dog's pretty fucking gross too. And then what they were saying on the show is like,
Sorry.
well, black people, kind of universally, and a lot of white people don't know this, and that black people use ridiculous amounts of lotion. It's like it's ingrained in their culture because they get ashy. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe it has something to do with like we don't use the products they use. You know what I mean? So they're like really used to like smelling cocoa butter and shit on people, and aloe and stuff
I
like
think
that
it's
on skin.
because I think it's because a lot of white people might sleep in the bed with their dogs, and a lot of black people won't do that. A lot of them don't even let the dogs inside.
Wait, really? Black people
I
don't
don't
let their dogs inside?
Well, yeah, I've heard friends of mine say they like dogs, but they just don't like them in the house. A dog doesn't belong inside the house, and I'm like, well, mine sleeps in my bed, like right here.
Yeah. So
So
you
maybe that's
smell
a
like a
white
wet
thing.
dog. So then you take a shower and it just starts coming
Maybe.
out of you because you're like half dog.
Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe.
That I didn't know about the whole whatever's not in your diet.
Well, it was just a theory,
I guess
and I like the theory.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering
Yeah, I
if
like
there's
that
things
theory, too.
black people, maybe eat or like, but then it's also products. That's why I brought up the lotion thing. There's probably a lot of products like their hair is totally different than ours, so they wouldn't be using like the same like shampoo conditioners. You know what I mean? Like they have like real wiry, staticky hair. I don't know, but I'm assuming their products are different as well.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I don't even use shampoo and conditioner, obviously. You know what I mean? Like.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not going to be getting any of those cocoa butter scents. I'm not going to be getting whatever, maybe black people use a specific kind of, I don't know what they do to their hair. They obviously do something. Like,
I
I don't know. We're tackling the big issues up here. Eric and Brad show.
I am anti-racism. So
I
don't know.
I am anti-racism. I don't even know what that means.
ErickandBradshow@gmail.com. ErickandBradshow@gmail.com.
Episode 23.
Episode 23. Nobody likes you when you're 23.
Shut your mouth.
With the TV show.
Well,
Something like that.
rock and roll, guys. Until the next time, Erick and Brad Show @gmail.com. Erick and Brad Show @gmail.com. That's ERICKANDBRAD @gmail.com. If you have any, spelling issues.
So, I was kind of having the thought. I can't remember who the fuck I was talking about this to. Maybe Sawyer. That I was like, maybe we might be having too many guys as guests on. So I was trying to find a woman for the next one.
Yeah.
And I emailed one. I haven't heard back yet, but I think she sounds like a pretty cool chick. I don't know why she hasn't. Maybe I'll send another message or something like that. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to having women on. I'm also not going to, my stance is, you can feel different than me. My stance is I'm never going to look back at what we've done and be like, well, there's an inequality there, so we need to change it. That's just not how I work.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that, this is a strong point of mine. I don't give a shit that there's been X amount of men. You can call me sexist all you want.
Right.
I don't have an issue.
I know that, but sometimes you could get the little spidey sense of this is a sausage fest right now.
Yeah, no,
Maybe we
totally.
should.
You
know what I mean?
But I'm not
Yeah.
going to go out of my way
So-
to, fight for equality on a show, that I have, that I'm doing.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just gonna sound like a pretty cool chick overall.
Let's do it.
So we'll see if she wants to come on.
Okay.
Okay, you can wrap it.
Episode 23 in the books. Please, email us with these, these issues that we're dealing with the real issues here. You guys can argue about whatever you want, but in the end of the day, it really comes down to white people smelling like dogs, mushroom trips. This is what the world needs to be talking about right now. We don't need to be talking about Cardi B or, that wet ass pussy or anything like that. We need to be talking about we need to be talking about dogs, white people and dogs. So until next time, I hope you guys have a good one. This is Eric signing off with Bradley. We love y'all. Until next time. Have a good one.
We'll be back